Yes. On a Thursday, and it's not just any Thursday. We have Simone behind the glass, so it's definitely going to be a special one. Two Simones doing their thing right now. Simone behind the glass and obviously Simone Biles. But it's a special Thursday for a couple reasons, and we're going to get into that right now. Then we will break down Logan Webb dealing NBA futures. Where do your Sacramento Kings land as far as their over-under and some of the awards like Sixth Man and Clutch Player? We have your Olympic updates, and one of the great stories in basketball, he retires today. Of course, Niners as well, with a Niner great going into Niner Hall of Fame. We'll tell you who that is as well. But it's a special Thursday, because if you are a loyal Stiles and Watkins listener, we love you. But life is about change, okay? And life is about making yourself uncomfortable at times. And because everybody here at Sacktown Sports loves to take time off, besides Chris and I, we have been tasked to pick up the slack. Yeah. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So for the next week, starting tomorrow, so a week and a day, I will be doing the morning show, Carmichael Dave with Jason Ross, and Chris will be holding down the fort, Stiles and Watkins, 10 a.m., 2 p.m. as usual. So if you are a listener of the morning show, because of course you are, you will hear your boy. So tell everybody, hey, this guy from the Bay is doing his thing on our airwaves for the next 6 days. And of course, you still got Chris Watkins, and we'll have a band of guests and fun people coming in to let us know what's going on with the Kings, Niners, and everything in between. So we will give you more information as that comes out, but wanted to let everybody know. So Chris, this is going to be the first time, right? Because like I said, we don't take time off. Never. This is going to be the first time we're not really together in like 7 months. Yeah. It's pretty weird. Really weird. Yeah.
We're still going to do crosstalk, though.
We're going to do crosstalk.
Yeah. That'll be a wonderful 15
and then we're going to see
minutes.
each other in in passing in the building. I was be like, hey,
what's up, fellow coworker?
I could just see myself poking my head in, watching you and Brendan prep. Just like, that looks
like
fun.
Squidward up in the house, looking down at SpongeBob and Patrick having fun. Yeah.
That looks fun. So it will be fun. I'm excited to talk with the early birds, and the early bird gets the worm. Everybody that tunes into our 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. show. So very excited about that. Wanted to let everybody know. And that starts tomorrow. Yeah. So if you got any questions or want to have some fun with Chris and I, it's your last time to do it for the next week or so.
Yeah, I mean, I can't lie though. I'm a little bit jealous because you get Simone, and I know you and Simone are gonna have a blast.
Yes,
I'm gonna have Brendan and Nate at least for tomorrow, and I know that has 100% chance of going completely off the rails.
That's right.
I don't love to go completely 100% off the rails. So I will definitely be a little bit envious of you guys in your tight knit show as I try.
Oh yeah, because
those two.
I just incredibly
Simone. Actually, Simone, good luck tomorrow and for the rest of the week.
Yeah, we will have fun, and luckily for everybody, it'll be 3 hours of Giants baseball. I'm kidding. I am kidding. But speaking
trade deadline breakdown.
That's right. How annoyed is Alan today? But speaking of the Giants and the A's, by the way, it's not the end of the Bay Bridge series. That wasn't the end yesterday. That was essentially the latest edition of the Bay Bridge series. The end of the Bay Bridge series comes later this month because, yes, we are in August. That comes later this month. The Giants travel to the Oakland Coliseum for the last time, and they will do battle for the last time under the premise of the Bay Bridge series. So how did Logan Webb want to end the last time the Oakland A's came to visit them as the Oakland A's and not just the Athletics? Well, this is from Andrew Baggerly. Logan Webb threw his second career shutout in the Giants' 1-0 victory over the A's. Not the most exciting game as far as offense, and he's going to love this part. This is Andrew talking about Logan Webb, who loves a short game just like we all do. That's why he's a man of the people. He's going to love this part. He did it in 1 hour, 55 minutes. It's the Giants' quickest home game in 19 seasons.
Love that.
And tied for the second quickest home game in history at 24 Willie Mays Plaza.
Love it. If it's going to be a 1-0 game, it might as well be a fast one, right?
That's
Don't
right.
drag it out. And yeah, Logan Webb was on one yesterday. I actually watched
fire.
probably the last 5 or 6 innings of that game.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, quickness is honestly like the way to describe it. It did feel like every time I was looking up, it's like, okay, Webb's on the bump. And then 2, 3, 5 minutes later, he's walking off. And yeah, really clean game from Logan Webb. And yeah, I mean, definitely got a little bit of their get back after the A's kind of embarrassed them in that first game, hitting the 4 dingers, and even hit one into the McCovey Cove, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, JJ Bleday, I think, hit his. It was a great game from Logan Webb, and definitely, I'm sure it feels pretty good to kind of have that stamped for Giants history. The last time the A's are there, they kind of, obviously it could have been more exciting, but you still get a dominant win.
Yes, the last time the A's are there as Oakland, the kind of that Bay rivalry, and I think the cool thing is everybody understood what it was about, and I think the A's, they brought their A game. The Giants brought their A game, and Chris, I was watching the Olympics, so Giants A's, it's cool, but the Olympics, they're the Olympics, and even the replays of the Olympics. My wife wanted to watch because she's working during the day, so she doesn't have it on just like we do here, even if it's on mute. So she wanted to watch the swimming yesterday. Was phenomenal. So I had it on my computer. I had the game on my computer, and I'm muting and unmuting, and next thing you know, I look up. Oh, it's the ninth inning, and it was over. Yeah, and it was over. So look at that, Logan Webb, complete game. Complete game. What a premise, huh? He can get it done. What was it, 106 pitches, something like that. Yeah. So great stuff from Logan Webb. And I just wanted to say this, Chris. We talked about this. Hit pretty well yesterday, too. He did. I wanted to say this, Chris, and we talked about this a little bit in the pre-show. Just in general, if you blindly support something, you're going to lose credibility, right? You can support something. We kind of talked about this a little bit yesterday with the Niners. Yes. You can support something and understand that there could be some issues, okay? For sure. There are a lot of people coming out and trying to dispute some of the questions that are coming from Sutter Health Park as far as next season. Nobody is going to take your Sacramento card just because you're acknowledging, it is really hot here. There could be some issues. It's stupid hot. Honestly. When the star right fielder Lawrence Butler, he even says he has some concerns with it. So if you're an A's fan and you don't want to acknowledge anything that happened on the Oakland side, then that's a problem. If you are a Sacramento fan and you don't want to acknowledge any legit question marks, then that's a problem. Credibility is about understanding everything about the situation. Doesn't mean you don't believe in it. Doesn't mean you're not excited. Doesn't mean, you're not the biggest Sacramento fan ever. So I just saw some stuff yesterday on social media and I'm thinking that's not what this is about. You get viewed with more credibility if you're able to say, hey, see both sides of the fence. Yeah, I want to do what I can and figure out and learn about this and figure out what the issue is and how they can resolve it versus, no, it's not going to be a problem. Yeah, because that's one thing. It's one thing to hey, I am definitely leaning on this side of things. Yeah. I'm going to try and downplay, but I will still recognize, but I'll just tell you maybe, hey, it's not going to be as big of an issue, or hey, here's some fixes actually around that'll make it less of an issue. But like you're saying, to just completely disregard it. Yeah. It just completely kills all of your credibility. You're right. Like, because especially with something as simple as, it's hot out there. It's like, and they're adding turf. Yeah. And I mean, there's no shade that's going to be added. They're not adding a second deck as well to maybe block some sun. It just is a fact that you go to Rayleigh Field, it's hot as hell there. There's an entire side that is the sun side, and it just is what it is. Everything is not an attack on Sacramento, the city. No. Okay, we can have conversations without it being for sure. We're not perfect. No, there's no. We're not perfect LA. City. We're not San Francisco. We don't try and act like we're perfect. We never have. We never will. It just strikes me as we can talk about the heat, but if anybody else talks about the heat now, it's a problem. So wanted to get to that as well as we break down everything that is going on in the sports world. We have the top 5 at the top of the hour. And, of course, the Hall of Fame game. How can we bury in the lead the Hall of Fame game, and we will get –
all the show is supposed to be
That's
about
right.
today is
That's
the Hall
right.
of Fame game.
We're getting into the Hall of Fame game next. The question is, do you care? Do you care about the Hall of Fame game? Because I'll tell you what, with the 3-on-3 going on, Chris, I'm really still trying to figure out who's playing for any of these. Are there NBA players?
No. There's no. I don't think there's a single NBA player in this 3x3. I don't believe so.
That makes no sense to me.
It sure doesn't make any sense to me either. Can we at least send college kids? Like, it makes, like, the women's side send a WNBA player.
They got Haley Van Lith out there. I mean, they're stinking up the joint, but she's out there.
Yeah, they just lost for a third time.
Again?
Yeah, they're 0-3.
KD.
I don't think our 3-on-3 teams have won a single game this entire Olympics.
I saw KD. They said KD is out there at the 3-on-3 to support. You better suit up.
He should.
Playing around.
Come on. That's the NBA All-Star horse champion you're talking about right there. Come on.
Coming up next, we get into the Hall of Fame game. They say football is like pizza. Is this good pizza? Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out sacktownsports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on sacktownsports.com.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sacktown Sports.
Yeah, this is a fair point. We're about to get into the Hall of Fame game because I know we know that it's at the top of everybody's mind, but this is a fair point from the 916, Chris, and I'm going to try to answer it off the top of my head, and I'm going to ask you to do the same. From the 916, am I missing something? Why don't we hear anything about, oh, it's so hot for the River Cats? They play there year after year, and they're just fine. The only thing, I think it's a very fair question, 916. The only thing I think I would say, or a couple of things I would say, is number one, they're changing it to turf. And turf is, because I heard
significantly hotter than grass.
Yeah, and I saw people commenting saying, well, what if, Sacramento football teams, they're out there on turf every season, right?
Yeah, they sure are. The high school
get all
kids,
that.
I think about it every single summer. I'm like, these poor high school kids just baking out here.
Right. I would say number one, they're more games, right? You're talking about what, 82 games, 80 games, 81 games, 162. So 81 games out there. They're changing it to turf, and I'm going to try to be respectful here, and I'm going to say it in a respectful way. If you look at the crowds for the River Cats, I don't think there's a lot of complaining because there's not that many people out there.
Yeah, that is a very nice way of saying. I was just going to say because nobody cares.
You're talking.
That's what it is. It's just, it would be a bigger deal if more
I
people
believe
went,
so,
but I just don't think there's enough people to cause enough concern.
And you're talking about a venue that is going to be packed at capacity.
That's a great point.
Because they're trying to get everybody
man.
in there because they're already, I know it's intimate setting, but it's already going to be so much smaller than other ballparks. So it's going to be packed to the brim. There's more games. They're changing it to turf, right? And this is just something that's going to be different. Again, nobody is saying not to do the move, or nobody is saying that they're going to literally melt right into puddles. It's just the idea that this is something that they are going to have to try to address in some capacity.
Well, and it also affects potentially the gameplay, right? Like if these guys are out there sweating, they're going to be a little bit more tired, and that might lead to some worse play. And so I think it's just a natural talk. I mean, it just makes sense to talk about. The stakes aren't as high for the minor league either. Like, we could be potentially talking about the A's. What if the A's make a great run next year or whatever, 2-3 years down the line, and they play worse at home because they're incredibly tired or they can't deal with the heat or whatever. I definitely think it's just not a big issue right now because it's minor league baseball, honestly.
These Florida parks and Texas and things like that.
Park in Vegas.
They all have retractable domes and things like that when it's hot, right? But the AAA, you're not going to put that much money, that same type of money into the AAA. So again, I think 916 is a fair point, but
it's definitely a good point.
The reason nobody is talking about it is because it's AAA.
Yeah.
And, I think it would be more of a question, you get into those seats. I mean, those seats are hot.
Yes,
right?
Very hot. No, they are. Yeah, they just sit in the sun.
I
mean, you will burn, and like you said, I mean, it just becomes it potentially could. Actually, we're thinking about the players as well, the fans as well.
Like, that's the video I saw yesterday.
That could really hurt attendance. People could say, I don't know, an 11:30 first pitch, and it's 108 outside. Maybe I'll just wait for next week's game. You know? And that could really hurt attendance.
Yeah, that's what. Video I saw yesterday. They're saying, "Hey, look, this is how hot it is, or whatever." And they just had a video of Sutter Health, and then they said those trees out there in the corner are actually going to get torn down for everything else that they have to build. So there's just no relief. There's just no relief, and you're going to be paying some nice prices on some of these games. So again, nobody's saying not to do it, but to assume that it won't. To just downplay it that it shouldn't be a talking point at all. That was more the issue. Nobody's saying don't make the move or it's a bad decision simply because of the weather, but all of these other ballparks in that can get hot or even get this hot, a la Florida, Texas, wherever, a lot of those places have domes, right? And they can change how everything kind of feels depending on how hot it is. But great call from the 916. As we get into the Hall of Fame game, Chris, it is the Texans versus the Bears, and your favorite coach from Last Chance U, Coach Jason Brown. We're not going to play the audio because Simone would still be editing it, but he is not happy that Caleb Williams isn't playing, and technically his first preseason game. Fair or foul for Caleb to not play in this game? Obviously, CJ Stroud isn't playing for the Texans.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fair. I think it's overall fair. I mean, I'm pretty sure that with this, the Bears will get, I believe you get an extra preseason game. If not, you get a week off in between. They don't need to see anything. Like, Caleb Williams is going to be their starter week one. I guess the thought is, hey, get him some reps, but there's plenty of preseason. There's still a couple more preseason games that they have to get through. He'll get his time in the preseason. I'm sure, the broadcast partners probably aren't thrilled about it because, it would bring a lot more eyeballs to this game if Caleb were playing, even if it were just, hey, Caleb Williams going to be out there for the first drive. I'm a lot more likely to tune in, but,
are you watching?
It's whatever. I think so, because it's one of those things where, I mean, it's the only, I guess now it's not the only thing on with the Olympics, but traditionally it's the only thing on. It does symbolize football. You kind of get fake excited for it, and then you turn it on and you're like, yeah, this is definitely like a bunch of backups playing football right now. And I just don't care that much. If it's not your team, I mean, you just don't really have the investments in these positional battles. Like, if we watch some Niner preseason games, we could talk about, Josh Dobbs versus Brandon Allen. Thank you. We can watch things like that. We have some sort of investment in it, but if it's not your team, you just really don't care, especially and right now the Bears have already came out and say none of their starters are playing. The Texans haven't officially came out and said it, but the assumption is none of the Texans starters are going to play either. So there's not really much reason to watch.
If you do prop talk on this, You need to call the hotline.
Yes, 1,000,000%. If you're
come on.
If you're doing prop talk for freaking preseason football,
Tyler Badgett's going off.
You need help. You need help.
Little Goblin.
That's what
Goblin
I'm
never hurt nobody.
Goblin.
Give me the demon. Give me the over, man. I'm in. So
Goodness,
the saying goes that football is like pizza.
That's right.
And there's no such thing as bad pizza, which I disagree with. I disagree on both fronts. There's bad football and there's bad pizza.
Yep.
Okay, and tonight we're going to see bad football.
I think so.
And Chris, you wanted to have some fun with this, and Simone, we want you to hop in as well. When it comes to bad pizza, here's the thing. It's the same thing with the burger conversation. There's fast food burgers.
Right.
And then there's
a
restaurant or wherever you want to fall here. So you're talking about fast food pizza.
I would guess. Yeah.
Good pizza and bad pizza. Not that any of this is bad pizza, but where would it rank? So your number one, do I remember, is your number one Pizza Hut?
For favorite
fast food pizza?
No. It's got to be either Mountain Mike's or Round Table.
See,
I'll put Mountain Mike's one.
I would put Mountain Mike's one, but to me, Round Table is more expensive than
way too expensive
than the Domino's and the Pizza Huts. So should we put it in?
They don't want you to. I'll tell you that with their prices because it's crazy. I mean, to your point, like that's the problem. That's why I never get it is because it's always like I'm not going to pay $35 for a freaking large pizza.
Yeah. Future sponsor, Hope.
Yeah. Shout out Round Table. Hey, we really need a sponsor for the Kings Round Table.
Prove us wrong.
Please.
Prove us
exactly.
Wrong.
Yeah. Well, please. Maybe we can offer some discounts during the Kings Roundtable. That'd be great. We do it once a week, every Thursday. I think we did it.
That's right.
Frankie Carticelli, Brendan Nunez. What else do you want? Roundtable. I think we should still count it because it is still a chain pizza.
Just include the price. In your thought process.
1,000,000% it factors in for sure.
I'm going Mountain Mike's as well. I didn't know you were a Mountain Mike's guy.
Yeah.
I'm going Mountain Mike's
Double
as well. But
local chains too.
Right, but Mountain Mike's more of a local chain. Then you have the Domino's of the world.
I don't think so.
Is there Mountain Mike's outside of California?
I'm pretty sure. I just never assumed that it gives vibes of national.
Simone, who you got?
Yeah, what is this conversation? Because I'm confused.
What is your favorite pizza? It was initially kind of presented as least favorite.
Okay, because I'm already disturbed by the fact that we're putting they do need to be in different echelons, different categories, and I'm hearing a lot of it's very mixed up.
We landed on it's all the same category, but just put it into your mind. Like if you have In-N-Out versus Five Guys, you might pick In-N-Out because In-N-Out is even if you like Five Guys burger better. In-N-Out's more inexpensive.
I thought we were doing like a tier. There are tiers to pizza, and there's like the Little Caesars. My favorite pizza that I'm going to is Mountain Mike's.
Wow.
Yeah. Honestly, Costco gets a shout though. If we're factoring in price,
if we're putting that there. So here you go. Does this count as a chain or not? Over 45 years, that dream has blossomed into Mountain Mike's Pizza, a pizza legend and a beloved brand with nearly 300 locations in the western United States, including California, Arizona, Nevada, Oregon, Utah, Idaho, Texas, Colorado, Washington, and Wisconsin. I was going
to say Oregon's not letting them go.
It gets far east enough.
It's not a Domino's all the way chain.
East. Yeah. And by the way, that's my answer for worst.
Domino's?
Whoa.
See, this is what we argued about. I didn't have Domino's worse.
Terrible.
No.
It's absolutely
I'm going Pizza Hut worse than Domino's.
I don't know if I've had a Pizza Hut. Pizza Guys?
I love Pizza Guys. Pizza Guys
I love Little Caesars.
I love me some Pizza
Man,
Guys.
I can't believe you're going to slander Domino's like that.
That's what I'm saying.
So trash.
But you know what?
Trash.
It's not fair to me because when I was in school and we had our little per diem.
Yeah.
There was four of us or three of us in a room, whatever it was in a room, two of us in a room. We would come together, the four of us, and we get two pizzas, the sticks, the wings. So it's deeper than that for me.
Little Caesars is the cheap pizza place for me. Like I'm all in on Little Caesars. People hate on Little Caesars way too much.
Yes, they do.
Very
I gotta give you guys a little tidbit.
Okay.
Walking through life.
Okay.
This is a critique.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
instead of saying cheap, I always say affordable. So
Ooh.
you say it's affordable pizza rather than cheap pizza because that has a negative
It
connotation.
does.
I like that.
Yes,
So,
that's very good.
someone gave me that free game once, and
Yeah.
I've always carried that around. So
Spread
if
the
you'd like to
wealth.
adopt it, that
Yeah,
You know,
you're
I
welcome to.
actually like that too, Simone. I got a note from somebody, and I got to be careful here because we're talking beverages.
Mhm.
If you want a beverage in a certain way, instead of asking it with that 4-letter word that you would use in college, you say you would like it neat. Can I get this neat?
Yes.
Instead of can I get
I'm picking
a
up what you're
blank
putting
of
down.
this?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh, I don't think Chris is with us.
No,
but
Chris is
I'll-
with
we
us.
I'm
can-
a little confused, but
Chris
we'll
he'll
figure
get
it
there.
out during the break.
Hey, can I get a blank of this instead of hey, can I get this neat? There you go. It makes you feel a little bit better.
Chris is still not with us,
Yeah,
but
I'm
we're
still
gonna
a
get
little
there.
lost. We're gonna get there eventually.
Coming up next, we get there with one of the
4-letter
great
word.
stories in basketball retiring today. One guy left from this draft class. Will this guy get a ring? Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Kevin Herter plays here.
It's Herter. He's been hot. He fires. He's still hot. Kevin Herter from downtown has a 15-point first quarter.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Presenting a Gain Flings love story. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out.
Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out.
Oh, Downy in the rinse change.
Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes 100% of odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
I'm a very active person that likes to move around and go. The pain I was in was really excruciating. It was actually debilitating. I was basically heading towards a sedentary lifestyle. I had really tried everything, but I quickly lost hope with all of the things that we had tried, and that's what led me to the Good Feet store. And when I found the Good Feet system, it really just changed everything. It brought me back to life. I have my active lifestyle back.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Celebrate Sacramento Rivercats baseball during our 25th anniversary season and join the fun at Sutter Health Park. For a full promotion schedule and to buy tickets, visit rivercats.com. We'll see you there.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
So if you are on YouTube, you probably saw one of the most disturbing yet impressive things you've ever seen in your life. Simone and Nate with a collab, and they've cooked up.
It's a cursed image.
Every show, hosts and producers, our faces have been morphed into Olympians. And we're going to get this on social media for everyone.
Scary.
Because it's incredible. But basically, you could probably guess who some of us have become. But some of us you won't be able to guess. So we're going to have some fun with that. And yeah, if you are privy to the LeBron James Draper joke, you're going to have some fun with this one. So great job to Nate and to Simone for that collab. That was great stuff. And it was great stuff, Chris, for Gordon Hayward in his career. He retires. And from Butler almost taken down, I think it was UNC all those years ago.
It was
Duke.
in the national championship.
Almost taking them down.
Almost hit that half-court shot.
To going to the NBA, having a darn good career, fighting through horrific injury, right? And doing all these things in his career. Getting the bag, don't get me wrong. He got paid. He deserved it. Gordon Hayward has announced his retirement, and now Paul George is the only player left from the 2010 NBA draft class. Let's start with Gordon Hayward, Chris. And really, I mean, like I said, I don't even know if he'll be in the Hall of Very Good. He's in the Hall of I made a lot of money, but what a great story for Gordon Hayward. And, it didn't work out with OKC. We even talked about him. Would you take him on a minimum deal for the Kings? And he decided that it's time to hang him up.
I have a couple different notes on this. First off, you said there's only one player left from 2010. How insane is it that LeBron James was drafted in 2003?
Yeah.
And he's still playing 7-year clearance there. And he is just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Second note is just on that draft class in general. This is really like a very special draft class to me because this is when I first really got into college basketball. You had the John Wall season. It was him, Boogie. You had Patrick Patterson. You had Eric Bledsoe. And, I just remember that draft being incredibly excited for it. Gordon, definitely at that time, I was I wouldn't call myself a Duke fan, but I definitely just was rooting for the legacy of it. And I just remember thinking there's no way that Gordon, this 6'8" scrawny white kid is going to take down Duke, which is, especially at that time, was kind of riding off the fumes of like real peak Duke. And I mean, him and Brad Stevens, it launched Brad Stevens' career in a certain way. Definitely his 2 years at Butler. I mean, it's incredible. I think Gordon definitely, kind of like you were laying out, has a pretty confusing career. I think he's definitely going to be remembered fondly with his time in Utah. But yeah, I mean, once he went to Boston, immediately gets hurt. One of the most just frightening moments in probably NBA history, especially recent NBA history. Really, really fun player, really good player. I would say underrated just in general for what he brought to the game. But yeah, it's really disappointing he can't continue because he would have been a really good late career guy. I think that could have really impacted some winning basketball for sure. And I would have loved to have him here in Sacramento for the last couple of years of his career.
Yeah. It didn't work out for him at I guess as far as the highest level, but he did have some high points in his career, including, I mean, we're not going to talk about Gordon Hayward and not talk about the famous haircut switch up. I mean, the memes that he provided when he switched up his swag.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Oh my goodness.
From the bowl cut to like the
when he got
swoosh,
the taper swoosh and went from sir, I'll have her home at 8 to I'll have her home when I have her home. I mean, those memes were hilarious, and Gordon Hayward, good on you, good career. And Chris, what a unique situation with Gordon Hayward and Brad Stevens to both go on. And really, it wasn't Gordon Hayward carrying Brad Stevens or Brad Stevens carrying Gordon Hayward. They both went on to just prove, we can both do this in the NBA.
Yeah, it does feel like that's super rare. It does feel like, one gets credit for the other. And once they separate, you really see the warts in each other or really highlights how much one was carrying the other. It's
like
kind
I think
Brady
about
Belichick.
Right. I was going to say Cam Newton and Gene Chizik.
Yes,
once Gene Chizik lost Cam, that man lost
all
his
of
job.
A sudden, he
lost his
no
job.
Longer the savior of Auburn football. Turns out Cam Newton was just pretty ridiculous and was able to put the team on his back with like 2 pros on that entire roster. Yeah, no, I mean, that's a perfect parallel to what it probably could have / should have been. But yeah, I mean, Gordon was legit. He had crazy talent. I guess him and Brad kind of had relationship from the time Gordon was in high school, and he kind of was a late bloomer and got a little lucky there. But you're right. Like, it is very rare when you have a kind of like 2 guys coming up, one a coach, one a player, and then as they separate, you kind of see their individual greatness. I don't think anybody at that time thought Brad Stevens was going to be literally what he became and probably the best young, smart mind. You can maybe call him like the what's the exec that brought the Red Sox and the Cubs the title? Theo.
Theo Epstein.
Yes, Theo Epstein. Kind of, in a way, he was the NBA version of that. Maybe you could say he's like the NBA Sean McVay in a way. Definitely was really unsuspecting of Brad Stevens becoming the just basketball mind that he is. And Gordon Hayward definitely is synonymous with it 100%. And I every so often I think about how close that half court shot was from going in. And that really would have been, we had that UNC Villanova crazy game winner. Gordon Hayward, if he hits that half court shot, That's probably the greatest game winner of all time.
Yeah.
Period. Full stop. To win the Natty, it's beating Christian Laettner's shot. It would have been absolutely insane. And Gordon Hayward probably should be remembered a little bit more fondly just in college basketball history. If I'm not mistaken, they went to 2 Final Fours, and then I believe I know they went to at least 1 national championship. So that's incredibly impressive. And I don't think we've really seen someone take it that far. We've seen some Gonzaga runs out of nowhere. We've seen, Florida Gulf Coast a couple of years ago, Grand Canyon or whatever it was, had a run as well, but nobody actually ends up making the title and really competing.
The private school in Chicago with the nut.
Loyola Marymount.
Loyola Chicago.
Loyola, it was Loyola something. Loyola Chicago. I can't say that like 5 times.
Yeah. Well, and it's so crazy how just in college, and I don't know, I still think that even with the NIL, this is still possible, but I do enjoy how one player can change the trajectory of a whole school.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. I mean, he left Butler, and I think a couple seasons later, well, first of all, they were good then, right?
Yeah,
a couple seasons later, they're in a new conference.
Yep. Yeah.
Right. I mean, they literally just changed the trajectory of the school based on a 2-year run.
It's like Steph with Davidson, right? It's like I will never see Davidson and think that's a small school. I will always think that's the school Steph went to.
And then all of a sudden, the other sports get good, right? So I think it's just fun in general. So shout out to Gordon Hayward and Brad Stevens. Let's take this to the other side, Chris, with Paul George. Paul George being the last player left from this draft class. If I were to say Paul George is going to get a ring or isn't going to get a ring, what side would you more so be on? He's with the Sixers now. Yeah. He's the last hope for this group, right, to really make something of himself as far as put himself in the great beyond of champions and things like that, and really say, hey, this is who the 2010 class has to offer. Do you think he gets it done?
I don't. I think the Sixers are they just feel like they're always going to get close but never have enough. And I love Joel Embiid. I know I like him a lot more than you do, but I don't think I can't bet on that horse, man. I just think that he's been way too injury prone, and Paul George also has a really, really rough history of playoff performances. And so if you put those two things together, I just think that it's going to be really tough in an Eastern Conference, which, it's not super deep, but you got to beat Giannis. You got to figure out how to take down the Celtics. I think that it's going to be a really fun team. I think this will probably be the best chance Philly has in this entire process run. I think this is definitely the most championship ready team, probably since when they had Jimmy and JJ and all them, and Ben Simmons was still playing basketball. But I don't think they end up getting it done. I just don't think that they have the overall oomph to get them over the top.
And this is, that's why the Clippers wanted to move on, because he wanted that max deal. This is probably his last stop.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. And if it's not his last stop, we're talking about a Vince Carter end where he's coming off the bench for a couple threes and things like that. It's his last stop in his prime for sure. So. And then you talk about, okay, well, Paul George at 39 got a ring. The Gary Payton type, you know what I mean? He got a ring, but he was kind of a bench guy, not the same as being part of By the way, you see the Gary Payton.
Yes, in the big three.
In the big three. Yeah. Those were some fighting. They were about to go at it, man.
Yeah, that was definitely not about basketball.
No. There was some real beef between Gary Payton, the glove, and Jordan Crawford.
I think it was Jordan Crawford.
Yeah. If you haven't seen the video, it's uncomfortable.
It was uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable. 916-339-1140. Speaking of uncomfortable, here's JR.
Oh, boy.
Who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, JR? What you got for us? JR, going once, going twice. All right, JR.
Boy, that was awkward.
Yeah, that was awkward. Thank you, JR. That's just him trolling. Coming up next, one of the biggest names in sports has just posted saying, look out for Brandon Ayuk news. Ooh. We will tell you who said it. And we asked the question, how many QBs do you trust to beat Patrick Mahomes. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Last year's RV trip, we met a couple with the same bumper sticker. What are the odds?
Your cousin isn't a good storyteller.
He was a podiatrist, or was it a pharmacist?
You don't say.
Oh, I can't remember.
But she owns an RV protected by Progressive, and you don't. So until you get your own RV, her stories are the most interesting stories you've ever heard.
Wow, interesting.
And when you do get your own RV, save money by bundling it with your home, auto, or other vehicles with Progressive.
Oh, anesthesiologist. He was an anesthesiologist.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers, not available in all states.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by September 2nd, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Kyle Draper. Equip your staff with top-notch uniforms, professionally cleaned and delivered weekly to your workplace by Alsco Uniforms, proud sponsors of the Sacramento Kings Mop Crew. Our services include uniforms, towels, floor mats, mops, first aid supplies, and restroom essentials to uphold cleanliness and safety standards in your business. Discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms. Visit alsco.com to learn more. Again, visit alsco.com.
Hey, get ready to rock, groove, and have a blast with the Sacktown Sports live events calendar. We've got an unbeatable lineup of shows that you won't want to miss. It's Brett Young and Chase Rice at Thunder Valley on August 3rd. Plus, Jason Mraz and the Super Band will be rocking Thunder Valley on August 9th. Then head out of the heat to higher elevation for the Truckee Music Festival on August 9th and 10th, featuring Kip Moore and Sublime. And here's your Live Nation lineup. On August 4th, don't miss the Outlaw Music Festival at Toyota Amphitheater, featuring Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, and John Mellencamp. On August 15th, catch Donnie Osmond at Hard Rock Live Sacramento. Then, on August 22nd, Creed Fisher takes the stage at Ace of Spades. And on September 10th, enjoy the timeless sounds of the Doobie Brothers at Toyota Amphitheater. Rounding out this rockin' lineup is the Lodi Grape Festival from September 12th through the 15th, featuring Joe Nichols and Smash Mouth. For information and tickets, visit grapefestival.com. And then stay tuned to Sacktown Sports for exclusive updates and your chance to win tickets.
Hi, this is Frank LaRosa. And this is Scott Marsh. Join us weekly for Golf to Go right here on Sacktown Sports. We talk to all the local golf experts in the area and give you the latest on all the courses as well.
And not to mention all the golf legends and celebrities, along with all the latest in equipment and tournaments too.
Most importantly, we'll just have some fun talking about a game that's fun to play.
You know it's my favorite hour of the week, Frank.
Golf to Go, Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. right here on Sacktown Sports. Give us a listen. I think you'll enjoy it.
Sacramento, Dierks Bentley's coming to town. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends. Harmony, Tyler Rich, Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com. Brought to you by The Scoundrel Red Wine, Naturewood Home Furnishings, and Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers.
Live and
and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
This is from Colin Cowherd. Keep your eyes out with an eye emoji for Brandon Ayuk news. And the hashtag is hashtag New Deal SF. So that doesn't sound like a trade, Chris. It doesn't sound like a trade, Chris. And we had a bunch of people really analyzing the body language. I saw someone say, who are my DAP experts? Was that a DAP up yesterday with Brandon Ayuk to John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan? Was that a DAP up like, I'm finally glad we got this done?
Right.
Or was this a DAP up like,
it's been
hey,
real?
It's been real. And I really couldn't tell. I really couldn't tell. Colin is saying that he thinks a new deal is on the way. That DJ Moore thing maybe helped Brandon Ayuk in a way to say, hey, man, you know I'm better than this guy.
Right.
Let's land at 28 and just be done with it. Maybe that's what it is. And, hey, Brandon, you know we can't do 30, okay? And we know that you don't want to do 26. So let's do 28. That puts you a little bit better than DJ Moore, who we do think you're better than, and let's rock and roll and go from there.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't tell. I'll tell you what, I did watch the DAP a couple different times trying to analyze it.
I did too.
Because, it was strange. It was strange. You just unprompted walked out there and dapped them up. And there was definitely some feeling behind it. That
Can I tell you this,
undeniable.
though? The John Lynch one and I can't believe we're doing this.
I can't believe we're doing
the
it.
John Lynch one for me, because that's who we dapped up first, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That to me wasn't a we'll never see you again dap up. Because John Lynch, I think he had his kids with him. And
Yes,
it was
he does,
It was kind of just like,
Yeah.
oh, what's up, Brandon? If that was, hey, we're about to trade you, I just don't think
There's
it would
an
have happened
embrace
like
at that
that.
point, yeah.
That was more of a, Brandon, we're on our way, buddy. To me.
Yes.
To me. That was not a thank you for your service dap up.
No, I wouldn't say so. And yeah, as we're talking about it, I'm watching it again. It is very much like John Lynch throws the football, Ayuk's behind him. It's like, oh, hey, what up, Brandon?
Yes.
It's as simple as that. It's honestly the Shanahan one that's kind of crazy.
Right.
Not crazy, but Shanahan definitely walks up, gives him a big old, a 12-6 dap up, if you will. And then, he kind of backs up into John Lynch. John Lynch puts his arm around Ayuk a bit. And that's the DAP heard around the world. Alan, I will say either you're rubbing off on me or I'm just kind of surprised that you're not more upset about this Colin report. What is that? What is Colin Cowherd? Are you reporting something?
I don't know.
Is this?
It's what this is.
It's the worst, man. I can't stand stuff
It's this
like that.
limbo of journalism
Yes,
where, hey,
it really
I didn't
is. It's trash.
I didn't say, and
He didn't say anything.
No, and to pull back the curtain, I want to do this all the time.
You do.
And Chris says, Alan, don't do that. Okay. But everybody else does it.
Yes, they do. And they're trash for it.
And he's got sources.
And
But
you know what?
Colin does have sources.
And Colin does have sources.
So
but
I'm
it's
okay with Colin doing it.
It's fine, but it's also just then why isn't he saying sources are telling me, like, you're not revealing anything. It's just frustrating. I'm just like, I don't know what we're supposed to do with this. It feels like the best of both worlds for Colin, where if he's right, which there's a 50-50 chance he is right, then he gets all the credit. But if nothing ends up materializing and people either A, forget about it, or can have the fallback of, well, I wasn't reporting anything.
Right.
I was just hearing things. And that's why I didn't put sources or telling me. It was a hedge. It's just, I don't know what we're supposed to do with that. Especially with Colin Cowherd, who knows he has the platform in the audience.
And
he does.
And to that point,
it's just crazy.
He doesn't need the clicks.
No, he doesn't need it at all.
So that one makes it, I guess, more interesting to me.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't need some of these people out here that need the clicks and they're trying to grow and things like that. We get that.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
The aggregators, guys like that. But
exactly.
Colin doesn't need to do that.
Not at all.
So I think he's just saying, man, I don't want to lose my source, but maybe just bored. I mean, Colin's done so much in this game.
Because he gets bored. We're talking about him right now, right? Like it's going to get him. Somebody will aggregate it and they'll say Colin Cowherd's reporting. So I guess that brings us to Alan. Do you believe him? I mean, if Does it feel to you like there is a deal that is potentially on the table and ready to be announced?
Yeah, I think that.
What's Slick Rick say? Or Pretty Ricky? Who was the Twitter?
Oh,
page?
Pretty Ricky.
Yeah, Pretty Ricky. We'll have to see
yeah.
what Pretty Ricky has to say.
Yeah,
about all
I
this.
think it's getting close. I think that 28 is fair for everybody around. And again, Ayuk was very maybe it worked out, man. You know, maybe the idea of Ayuk holding in, both sides saw the human side of this.
Sure.
And hey, we really do like you, Ayuk. And hey, I really do like you, 49ers. I don't want this to be ugly.
Okay.
And the 49ers, you know, with Parath and everybody that they have, figured out a way to get this done to make everybody happy. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
But and we're going to talk about Tristan Wirfs. Now you got to pay Trent. It's like whack-a-mole.
Yeah,
it's like
no, for real.
whack-a-mole with the Niners. Now you got to pay Trent.
In a weird way, I wonder if that helped. Like if that helped Ayuk, if he was like, you know, if they're like, you know, we now have another fish that we need to fry.
Yeah.
And frankly, that fish is a little bit more important.
Yes.
Like getting Trent re-signed or getting him happy on a new deal is definitely more important to the Niners. I would say their overall success this season than Ayuk. I mean, they have, you know, we know they have Debo and they got Pretty Ricky and they got you know, Juwan Jennings, all these guys ready if Ayuk is actually going to be about his business and sit games out. But if Trent Williams isn't playing, none of them are getting the ball because the secret is the Niners offensive line is kind of doo-doo.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to talk about it. And
Right.
it could really be the Achilles heel of this entire team, and it could really ruin their season. I wonder if they're now saying, ooh, we really just need to push this Brandon Ayuk stuff aside and get it done because we really actually have to focus on Trent. And yeah, I mean, I do wonder if that Tristan Wirfs deal topped off with that DJ Moore deal is just like all right, like it's just staring us in front of the face. There's a 0% chance Brandon Ayuk is going to take our $26 million offer now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's either just go up to 28 or
move
we'll
him.
move on. Because at some point here, you know, it's like you said, whack-a-mole is perfect. It feels like once you fix one, another one pops up. And frankly, once they fix Trent too, then it's really Brock time.
Mm-hmm.
It is, we need to find out what that number that we're going to pay Brock Purdy is. And yeah, I mean, they can't continue to just have all of these dramatic problems popping up. So it wouldn't surprise me if they have wrapped it up here. And I believe I heard that Debo's deal when he was holding out got done on July 31st. So this is now obviously August 1st. We're officially further into the offseason than they were with Debo.
Yeah, I do think it's a good point. And we talked about the DJ Moore deal yesterday. I think that once the DJ Moore deal went through, even with Ricky Pearsall balling out, I think that the leverage maybe didn't change, but the respect level changed. And it went from, hey, Ayuk, we think that you're worth this. And then with DJ Moore, and I know I saw Mina Kimes say this specific wide receiver metric that's not yards or anything like that. DJ Moore is basically maybe a little bit underrated.
Oh.
But even with that being said, hey, we all know that you're at least as good as this guy.
Yeah.
So we know that now this is, I guess, a disrespectful offer.
Yeah.
So we have to go higher. How high do they go?
Yeah.
Who knows? But it changed. It didn't change the leverage. The Niners can still continue with what they want to do, but it did change the respect level as far as, all right, do you want
It's
to
now
go
completely disrespectful.
Exactly. To not offer me more than $26 million a year when guys out here that we all know that I'm better than, or for real move me. Right.
Yeah.
Or for real move me. And clearly they didn't want to move him. And Ayuk still wanted to be a part of the Niners organization. Coming up next, it's time for some Kings talk. Hope we didn't make you wait too long. This guy is a scorer. This guy is electric. This guy is currently in New York. But the Knicks aren't sure what to do with him. They're going to either pay him or move him. Would you want this man on your Sacramento Kings? We'll tell you who it is when we return. Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
They're going to give it. No, it's a play action. Purdy going to roll left, throw for the end zone. Caught by George Kittle. He has the hat trick tonight, a career high. 3 touchdown catches for George. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
This is the famous footwear that makes us actually want to go back to school. With the newest styles from all your favorite brands like Nike, Adidas, Crocs, Converse, New Balance, Birkenstock, and more. You'll find everything kids want, all at prices parents can appreciate. Because you don't have to overspend to make it famous. Famous Footwear even has fit experts in store to make sure you get the right size every time. So, for the perfect fit, make it famous. Plus, right now, buy one, get one half off when you shop your local Famous Footwear or famous.com. Some exclusions apply.
Total Wireless is made to totally keep up with you. We now have unlimited data that never slows you down. Covered by the Verizon 5G network. And for less than $30 a month, we make your phone your ride or die. Switch now and pick a free 5G phone with qualified plan purchase. And your fourth line at no additional cost. Visit your local Total Wireless store today. Total Wireless, we're totally with you. Actual speeds may vary by location. For data management practices, see TotalWireless.com.
There was always a crowd gathered around our dining table when I was growing up. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Everyone was welcome at my mother's table, so holidays, birthdays, and celebrations always included family and friends. I used to think I was the most popular kid in the neighborhood until I realized that my friends were really there for my mother's incredible cooking. Years later, when I bought my own dining table from Naturewood, I made sure it was large enough to make friends feel welcome. And right now, during Naturewood Home Furnishings' Dine in Style sale, you have an opportunity to find the perfect dining room furniture to help you create your own treasured memories. Choose from casual to formal or anything in between. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings during the Dine in Style sale off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
I would end the day with sore feet, sore legs. The drugstore inserts that I was purchasing were really not very useful at all. I walked into the Good Feet store and the guy kind of grinned at me and said, I hear that a lot. I was living with chronic pain before going to the Good Feet store. Now I don't really have that problem. I'm able to do the things that I expect to be able to do, even at my advanced age. I feel pretty good about what's going on.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any marketing campaign. Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products or services to them. Go to aimyourdigital.com today. aimyourdigital.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Take it on the local level. Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
This man can score in bunches. This man can set the tone. And this man may no longer be needed in New York as Tom Thibodeau and Cal Bridges. First of all, he didn't go to Villanova, so that's a knock against him and the rest of that Knickerbockers team moving in a different direction. Chris, Julius Randle becomes eligible to sign a contract extension on Saturday, which could be worth up to $181.5 million over a maximum 4 years. That is per Fred Katz, New York Knicks beat writer for The Athletic. They asked the question, should the Knicks give it to him? And Chris, I liken this to a similar situation as the Pelicans with Brandon Ingram. I do not believe that the Knicks have been as open as the Pelicans have been that they want to move on from Julius Randle. But if you just look at the makeup of that team, I just don't really know where he fits anymore. And which is funny because at the same time, I do think they need more offense. I do think they need more offense, but the Julius Randle type of offense, I'm not sure how well it will vibe with them. Yeah. Brunson needs his touches. You add Mikal Bridges, who what is he, a third? I mean, you traded 18,000 first-round picks and for I guess a second or third option.
I would guess second.
So it's a confusing one because they do need. I still think they need more offense, but I don't know if they want that in the package of a Julius Randle. So I asked the question. Two questions, really. If you were the Knicks, would you pay him? That comes out, Chris, to an average of $45.3 million a year. If you were the Knicks, do you pay him? And obviously, it would be a different amount if he were to go somewhere else. But would you trade him? And would you be interested in trading for him if you were any team? And of course, the Sacramento Kings, knowing just like the Pelicans, you're going to have to pay him at some point.
If I'm the Knicks, I probably don't re-sign him. I just feel like, they clearly, like you laid out perfectly, like they have a plan, and that plan is Villanova. Like it is not this Kentucky guy or anything like that. I kind of say that a little tongue in cheek, but seriously, like I just don't think that they want Julius Randle to be a part of their big three or their big whatever, however many.
I don't know what they have.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know if Josh Hart is considered a part of it. Is Dante Divincenzo? I don't know.
They need another. They need somebody else, but I don't think they want it to be Julius Randle. It's a fit thing.
Yes, it is. Julius Randle likes to shoot the basketball. That's as clear and obvious as we can make it. Is this dude likes to be a scorer first and foremost, and everything else comes secondary in his game to his scoring. If he's not getting a certain amount of shots, the problem is he's the kind of guy who gets upset, and he's had a lot of frustrations in the past, and that's came out in a lot of different ways. There's been a couple talks about, him in the locker room being a problem as well. And I think he's gone through some work to try and get over that. But, it still has came up here and there every so often. If I'm a different team, I think I would take a flyer on him because, like you said, I mean, he is a really good scorer. He's been a guy who can get you buckets, and certain games he can carry you. Like he will have crazy, stupid stat lines.
He gets hot.
Yeah, he'll be like 30, 20, and 8 kind of games. Yeah. Like he can definitely go crazy for you for a week or two. But it's a tough one to figure out where he fits into a winning situation. Like the Knicks took off once he got, not specifically because he got hurt, but when they let Jalen Brunson start cooking, that's when they were playing their best basketball. And I think that's kind of the concern for any team that trades for him. Maybe honestly, a Julius Randle for Brandon Ingram trade might make a little bit of sense. I mean, I know he was on the Pelicans previously, and they really liked what he was bringing at that time. They were kind of in a different point of their rebuild, but I kind of feel like he's one of these guys that nobody actually is going to want, but everyone knows.
What do you call him?
What do I call? I mean,
a big D-Lo or a center version or a forward version of D-Lo.
He is very much like forward D'Angelo Russell, 100%. Where it's like, yeah, he'll put up the numbers, but
All-Star, by the way, in
doesn't really help winning much. I think that's the concern. Is if he's your best or second best player, I don't really know how far he's taking you, again, because he really just wants to be a scoring option first and foremost. His defense isn't really there. He's pretty undersized. He's listed at 6'8", probably plays more at like 6'9", and he's kind of a tweener. Like Sabonis is a little bit more height-wise as a center. If you're playing Julius Randle at your center, you're definitely undersized. And if he's your 4, it then becomes a question of defensively, I don't think Julius Randle's moving on the perimeter a ton. I don't want Julius Randle guarding guys like Keegan Murray, frankly. That's kind of where the push and pull comes with Julius. I always feel like I put people on the Heat, but like he feels like a Heat player to me. If he really wants to like thrive, that's the kind of situation. Maybe like Brooklyn where they don't have anything, though I can't imagine the Knicks and the Nets are going to make another deal together after everything that the Knicks had to give the Nets. So I don't really know where the perfect situation for him would be, but I definitely don't think it's Sacramento. And I feel like there's got to be a team out there, like the Lakers maybe get desperate enough, again, that we know that they're have a certain level of desperation. I think there's teams out there, a couple, that would be willing to take that risk. But $45 million is way too much for Julius Randle.
So you'd rather pay Brandon Ingram $50 million than Julius Randle $45?
Whoa, hey, hold on, partner. I don't know.
Because I'm looking here.
I don't know.
But let's just play with this.
Yeah, let's do it because I don't know.
Look, the Knicks, they just want every role player they could find. What if the Knicks say, we don't know what to do with Julius Randle, Kevin Huerter, and Trey Lyles? It works right now. Kevin Huerter and Trey Lyles for Julius Randle. The problem is when you pay him, you probably are getting closer to that second apron, very similar to Brandon Ingram. That's why I asked the question.
Yeah.
But I'm doing Kevin Huerter and Trey Lyles for Julius Randle. I'm doing it.
Does that work? I don't know how much Julius Randle's making nowadays, but
he's making $28.9 million.
28. So okay, the Kings would still be a little bit short, but if you can get it done.
Oh, it's done in Fanspo.
Yeah, I don't know if they've updated. Yeah. I don't think I would do it. I mean, again, it is definitely a talent upgrade for sure, like 100% undeniably, but with that salary coming on the other end of it, I mean, maybe if you're just doing it for the half season and knowing like we don't really have any intention of signing this guy long term, but we just don't think this Kevin thing's going to work out for us, then maybe I could see it. But even then, I don't love it. That's for sure. I feel like I just don't know really how he fits. He's not really somebody who brings, like, again, DeMar, we can say there's other things that he brings to the floor, like, like dribbling or like just straight isolation scoring or passing, things like that. He brings other stuff. Julius Randle is a really good passer, honestly. But
yeah, he averaged 5 assists last season.
But I just don't know, besides scoring and then, that little bit of passing, which is probably going to get downplayed with Sabonis here, I don't really know what he's going to bring your team if he's not your primary or secondary scorer.
To me, and I know he's not as big, but isn't he a lesser Lauri Markkanen in a way?
He doesn't shoot like Lauri. Not at all. Lauri Markkanen's like an absolute sniper.
I'm looking here, 31.1 from 3 point.
Definitely not.
Yeah, it's just the stretch the floor question, but he's a scorer though.
Yeah, I mean, he is a scorer, but he's more of a back to the basket scorer. He's going to post you up and he'll do turnaround jumpers. He's crazy athletic at the rim, but he's not standing on the perimeter at all.
So you're done. You're out on it.
Yeah, for the most part, especially again from the Sacramento perspective, but I think, there's teams out there that are a little bit more in limbo. Like the Bulls make a lot of sense for him. I'm not just trying to throw him on bad teams, but like the Pistons, he would be great on.
But hold on. Mm-hmm. You do have to answer the question. Would you rather pay Julius Randle on the Kings 45 or Brandon Ingram 50?
I'd probably rather pay Brandon Ingram because I would hope that I hope he has a higher ceiling and he's a 3. I just think that he's a little bit more versatile. You can maybe play Brandon Ingram as a really tall shooting guard if you really wanted to with his skill set. Play him at the 3. You can maybe play him at the 4. Julius, I'm pretty sure, is just a 4. Like I kind of said earlier, I feel like him at the 5, he's just a bit undersized, and defensively, he is a real like we think Sabonis is a liability. Julius Randle just doesn't care about defense. I think I would rather do Brandon Ingram just because I think he's a better player, and I think he's a little bit more versatile, even though you are paying more for it. And especially if you end up in the same hellhole anyway, I might as well have the better player between the two.
Yeah, between the two. And that's what makes it tough. And that's why
I don't want either of them at that dollar figure for what it's worth.
Right. And the 916 is saying neither.
Yeah.
We need length in defense. Right. If you're making me choose, again, I would choose Brandon Ingram. But I do think that Julius Randle is a very interesting fit. I mean, I even look at a team, I don't think they would do it, and I don't think they can afford to do it, honestly. But I mean, I think the Warriors need another scorer.
That works
to
too.
be honest,
yeah.
a bigger. None of their scores. It's just Kuminga, right? And I don't think that's too much of a redundancy there. But yeah, the Julius Randle situation has popped up, and I do liken it to the Brandon Ingram situation. I think that both teams are in similar situations. The Knicks have been a little bit more mums of the word about what they want to do with Julius, but they haven't really needed to say anything because we all know.
Yeah.
We all know. I mean, how many times last season did you forget? I know he was injured. Chris, there are about 3 different times I forgot Julius Randle was on that roster.
Yeah, no, especially by the time they hit the playoffs. I mean, they didn't, again, the problem is they didn't miss him. And that doesn't help your trade value at all either, is that your team gets pretty significantly better once you go out. It felt like everything just kind of opened up. Obviously, the role opened up for Jalen Brunson for him to start scoring 40 every night, which probably isn't ideal to your point of, I think they kind of need Julius Randle still. It's probably not good to bank on homeboy scoring 35 plus every single night. Like that's not going to last long.
Whoever, if you want to trade, here's the thing, very similar to what we talked about with Kuminga. If you're going to trade for Julius Randle, or if Julius Randle is going to stay on the Knicks, whatever the case is, and you alluded to it, he's 29 years old. You're in the midst of your prime. Somebody needs to have a conversation with him about what the rest of his career is going to look like. You're throwing tantrums when you don't get your touches. You don't want to compete defensively. You're not a winning player right now, and I think that's what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
The Knicks need scoring, but the Knicks value winning players, and Tom Thibodeau values winning players over talent, right? So whoever, and if it's these teams with strong, and that's why I think you brought up the Heat, because Eric Spoelstra is saying, I don't give a dang who you think you are. No. This is what you're going to be for this team. There'll be days when you can cook.
Yes.
But you have to do certain things. You have to earn cooking.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You don't just get to wake up out of bed and say, I'm not going to do anything else besides score. No, you cannot do that.
Yeah.
So I do think there are certain teams, and maybe the Kings, just with I think Mike Brown is strong enough to help Julius Randle in that capacity. But with the Kings, and I, to your point, the reason I would have cause to pause is because you also added DeRozan. That's why we keep bringing up and I love bringing up different names nowadays, but that's why we keep bringing up the Jeremy Grants and the Cam Johnsons, because you're not really worried about
low maintenance
players, maybe not the same talent wise, right? But if this was
a box,
you can fit him in a box, and that's exactly what the 916 is saying. So I think both of us would stay away, but I am more likely to take a chance on one Julius Randle, because talent is talent, as someone said yesterday on the text line. Get it in the building, and if it doesn't work, we'll move somebody. It's that simple. Coming up next, Tyrese Halliburton thinks the Pacers are getting disrespectful. I mean, give me a break now. Just give me a break, Tyrese. Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Hi, this is Frank LaRosa.
And this is Scott Marsh.
Join us weekly for Golf to Go right here on Sacktown Sports. We talk to all the local golf experts in the area and give you the latest on all the courses as well.
And not to mention all the golf legends and celebrities, along with all the latest in equipment and tournaments too.
Most importantly, we'll just have some fun talking about a game that's fun to play.
You know, it's my favorite hour of the week, Frank.
Golf to Go, Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. right here on Sacktown Sports. Give us a listen. I think you'll enjoy it.
Sacramento, Dirks Bentley's coming to town. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends. Farmerly, Tyler Rich, Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com. Brought to you by The Scoundrel Red Wine, Naturewood Home Furnishings, and Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
Julius Randle, yay or nay? Chris says nay. I say nay, but I'm closer to yay. I am closer to yay than Chris as we talk about possible new Sacramento Kings. How about a former Sacramento King? So, I mean, Chris, it's just put your hand up if you've guessed that Tyrese Halliburton is talking again. So what's going on?
Yeah, he had a
and he's in G. What is he doing in GQ with those outfits?
I was just about to say
this is the problem.
Yep.
Should have been Malik Monk getting this interview.
It really
he
should have
won.
been. Yeah, exactly.
Best dress. He's not dressed like Where's Waldo. He's not dressed like Inspector Gadget.
Unfortunately, I think that was Tyrese's in. You know, it's like if you can't win on one end of the spectrum, you got to go to the complete opposite end. And you know, in a weird way, that's how fashion works. It's like your fashion is actually so bad that it's good. And that's the part that I just don't get. But yeah,
it's like art. You either get it or you don't.
Sure, exactly. Yeah, and I guess I just don't get the Halliburton art. But you know, I guess it's for an acquired taste, and that is definitely not my taste. This is Tyrese in his GQ interview. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I did a Command F search through this entire GQ article.
Okay.
The word Sacramento used twice. The word Kings used once. And it was only to make reference of, and then the Sacramento Kings traded him to Indiana, where he now resides. He didn't talk about the Kings. He didn't talk about how hurt he was.
Yeah.
He didn't talk about how, why don't they want me? The hell with them. Come on. Yeah. So he is evolving. Thankfully, Tyrese Halliburton is spending his time in Paris these days and isn't worried about what's going on in Sacramento. But in his GQ article, he's still kind of complaining, but this time maybe he actually has a leg to stand on as he talks about if he believes his Pacers team gets enough credit or got enough credit for their playoff run last season, where they made it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, losing to the eventual champion Boston Celtics. Tyrese said again in his GQ interview, all I keep seeing is who's going to win the East? Boston, Milwaukee, New York, or Philly? It's like, what are we doing? Trying to take our segment, not being included. People didn't watch us play until the playoffs. That respect comes with winning, and it's coming. So Tyrese feels slighted, feels like people aren't bringing up the Indiana Pacers and instead are focusing too much on Boston, the previous champions, the Milwaukee Bucks, also previous champions, the Knicks, who made the biggest move of the offseason, and Philadelphia, who also made massive, massive moves this offseason as well.
I don't really have a problem with what he said because he did at the end say it's coming, and
sure.
basically say he
probably pointed at his watch when he did it too.
That's right. He doesn't get it, but I think if it feels like he understands it. So I don't really have a problem with it. But as far as people not respecting it yet, I mean, yeah, Tyrese, it's because guys were injured, right? And the whole Knicks situation, yes. Brunson was basically hopping. And they were missing. I mean, they were missing Julius Randle for whatever it's worth. I know they got there without Julius Randle, but you had that situation. The Bucks literally had their JV squad. You had Chris Middleton's skeleton. You didn't have Dame. You didn't even have Giannis. So
and Porzingis didn't even play in the Boston series,
right? And Porzingis didn't play in the Boston series. So I mean, what are we talking about here? Not to be disrespectful, but I mean, that's why nobody is really respecting your grind yet, because how you get there does matter. And
exactly.
we do the same thing with champions if certain players don't play. So it's not anything specific to Indiana or the Pacers or Tyrese. You beat some shorthanded teams. Go out there, double it up, prove it wasn't a fluke, and you'll get your respect.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's really, really well said. I just, I think that it is just, if we're going to do what we typically will say in here, well, what else was he supposed to say?
Right. Right. It's fair on both ends.
I just kind of would have rather had him acknowledge like, oh yeah, we definitely thought I think it's just a fact that we didn't have to play a lot of the superstars. Jimmy Butler was out in that Miami series. Giannis was out in the Bucks. Like it's just acknowledging the reality of the situation and saying, look, I understand we still have a lot to prove, but that's why I'm so excited for this season, to show everyone it's not a fluke. again, these people I can't control his lives. I can't control the words that he says, but I just think that it's a little bit too much of a trying to play the underdog when this guy has been nothing but anointed. He's been nothing but crowned. People talk about the Pacers all the time. They talk about him, obviously, specifically more so than the Pacers, but I think it's fine. In terms of the where the narrative is at, I don't think the Pacers necessarily are a team that people felt like were the second best or the third best or even the fourth best team in the East. To me, it feels a lot like when Dallas made the Western Conference Finals with Jalen Brunson and Luka got hurt for that little stretch of time. When the Atlanta Hawks made the Eastern Conference Finals and then never sniffed it again. When the Blazers made it with Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. There's a lot of precedent, especially recent precedent, to things like this happening where these teams go on these runs and it really doesn't mean anything. So again, I don't expect Tyrese to say that or acknowledge that at all, but I just think man, I really feel like you probably are in the right tier right now. And I do think Boston, Milwaukee, New York, and Philly absolutely have a leg up on you right now. You can maybe say Benedict Mathurin was hurt for you last offseason or a postseason and nobody talked about it. But I just think that there's a very clear line between those specific four teams and where everyone else is at. And Indy might be the best of the rest, but I don't think that they're going to be anywhere near the Eastern Conference playoffs for a couple of years until they make another move, honestly.
Yeah, and when the list of guys that are disrespected and teams that have been disrespected and how egregious it is for certain teams, I mean, they're not even on the list.
No, they're not.
They are not even on the list. And if we were to make the list now, I would say, Miami gets a different type of respect. But you could even make the argument that the Bucks are headed towards disrespectful.
For sure, absolutely.
Nobody is really, I'm Dame because of how it ended.
Yep.
And they didn't have enough healthy bodies to put out there. So
the Cavs,
I think the Magic are probably being
Magic for sure. They're being respected properly.
Yes, but the Pacers, as far as disrespect, if you say over-respected, under-respected, properly respected. I think the Pacers right now are being properly respected based on who they beat to get there. Very simple.
And if anything, they lean more towards the over-respected, right? I don't think that there's much
You're on Team USA.
Case in point. There's no reason for him to be there unless he's getting the respect that, frankly, I feel like we read an article maybe a month or a couple weeks ago that said that there are some young players out there that are wondering, why is this guy getting so much shine? Why is he getting all of this praise and getting, put on the Team USA stage when he probably shouldn't be? I don't know if, I just don't know what reality he's living in right now, but I get it. You have to try and keep that chip on your shoulder. And it's totally fine. I understand that, it's some of this is probably even taken a little bit out of context. I'm sure he's not really complaining, but I mean, when it comes to Tyrese Halliburton, I'm just kind of sick and tired of hearing about him in general. And, good on him, definitely getting the GQ. That's huge for his brand. But I just feel like it's a lot of attention is already brought to Tyrese Halliburton. I don't know if he should be complaining about, hey, I feel like we don't get enough.
Everybody wants to be an underdog these days.
Yes,
and everybody has a plight that they are trying to fight against. That's just not in sports. That's all throughout life.
For sure.
Right now. Coming up next, Bleacher Report has who they call the best trade assets. Anybody on the Kings on that list? Maybe you want that. Maybe you don't. Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
What's the missing piece for the 49ers?
Which names will they add during free agency? Whether it's in season or off season, the coverage never stops. Get the latest 49ers news on Sacktown Sports at sacktownsports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system? You were a bit surprised at how much it cost, or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Hey, what are you doing up on the step stool?
About to clean these light fixtures. The whole family's coming over. And if there's even a speck of dust in the house, my abuela will find it.
Here, I got a Swiffer duster to help with that.
A Swiffer what?
A Swiffer duster. It has this cool extendable handle that reaches 6 feet to get high and low with fluffy dusters that easily trap and lock dust.
So no more step stool?
No more step stool.
Easily trap and lock dust from hard-to-reach places with the Swiffer duster. Love it or your money back.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SacktownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and The Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, The Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SacktownSports.com.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/SacktownSports1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Simone Biles doing her thing right now. I was trying to tell Chris, and maybe somebody that has a kid in gymnastics can help me out here. I get very confused with what is a stick and what isn't. Sometimes one foot goes back or
whatever Simone Biles is doing.
yeah, right. Sometimes I think, oh, that wasn't a stick, and the announcers are saying, oh my goodness, but
generational.
She's getting a standing O. Obviously, we have it on mute.
Yeah.
So we'll see what those scores are. Suni Lee was in the lead. We'll see where Simone comes in.
Was.
Yes, Suni Lee, which I think she was going during our segment. So I didn't see Suni Lee's performance, but people were talking about it. Chris, they're also talking about Brandon Ayuk. Matt Barrows had this to say. He said he is doing team meetings. He is doing everything but the practices. He is part of this team. He is here and seems to be enjoying himself. Matt Barrows on Brandon Ayuk participating at the Niners training camp.
Interesting. Yeah, I heard somebody say the other day, and I think it's a really good point that, I mean, we are also getting to the point, as we talked about, why would the Niners do a trade at this point? Because they're probably not getting a player back and they're probably getting a pick. And what does that really do for them? If a team is going to be trading for Brandon Ayuk, you probably want to get him in the building pretty soon, as this is training camp, and you're probably not going to want to, do a Damian Lillard situation where you trade for him, a week before the actual season happens. You're probably going to want to give him some runway so that he'll be available for week one. It is kind of seeming like the longer this thing goes on, it does feel like it's more and more likely that he's staying with the Niners. And then with all this smoke today, I mean, I don't know what else we're really supposed to draw the conclusion to.
Yeah. So hopefully we get some resolution. And again, reminder, if you're just now joining us, you won't hear us tomorrow at the same time. You will hear me from 6 to 10 a.m. bright and early. Get your coffee. Don't worry. I'll help wake you up.
Yeah.
And you will get Chris Watkins, of course, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on a beautiful Friday. And that schedule continues on through next week. Chris, I know other radio stations have done this and they have different names for it. Should we come up with a name for this for the next, starting tomorrow and next week? Simone, I know you're creative. Can we come up with the name? The mix-up.
Something like that. That works. Yeah, it was just trying to. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to leave you cold.
Just play the crickets if you're gonna leave me.
It wasn't that was bad at all. I just didn't know which direction the name was going to go.
Crisscross applesauce or something.
Right. That's actually a totally fine thing to call it. I'm not as creative as you. The juices weren't flowing.
You already know. Tomorrow, Friday, what's going down? Stiles and Simone.
That's right.
There you go. Yeah,
that's right. That's
an easy one.
Yes.
Your guys' show, right?
We'll tell them tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll tell them tomorrow. But yeah, just the whole week in general. Well, because now Chris is ticking me off. Now it will be crisscross applesauce. Tune in for the next week of crisscross applesauce. But yeah, we'll come up with a name for it, and we're gonna have some fun. So if you're just now joining us, that is the situation for the rest of the week.
Ooh, Ward's saying Civil War. We're kind of doing like an Avengers moment. You guys are breaking up like that.
That would be if there's beef, though.
Right, that would be if there's, but maybe there is.
You guys just have different perspectives, different ideologies going into it.
The same goal,
but
we're all upset that his parents died.
Right. But when we do crosstalk, obviously we still have to do, this is the funny thing about crosstalk, because we have to do celebrity birthdays.
Right.
So let's say, hey, for the crosstalk, and one of the days next week, just to peel the curtain back, one of the days next week, the morning listeners will get about 30 minutes of us unfiltered.
Wow.
Okay, Stiles and Watkins in the middle. But it would be funny, or in the morning, it would be funny if let's sign up this beef, right? And we line up the beef. But then in the back, Nate or Simone is playing the stupid celebrity birthday music. Like last time, we're trying to have a serious conversation. All right, next. It's Simone Biles' birthday, right?
Yeah.
So, and
He
Simone
just
is.
got gold.
So it's over.
Yes, it is over.
So Simone just walked it off, essentially.
Pretty much.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
I know. It's so I don't know what we're supposed to do with these things. Like, are we just supposed to tell the people as it's happening live? Because I think you've set out, like, it'll get posted on socials. So if
there's
you go
no
on
way
socials,
to avoid it.
You'll get seen.
This is like, we're sports. We wouldn't not tell you how the ninth inning is going. You know what I mean? This is all real time.
I guess it's part of it. And here's the thing: next year it won't be a problem because it's in LA.
Yeah.
So next 4 years it won't be a problem. So it is all part of it. I've already accepted that I will find out about Sha'Carri and Noah Lyles ahead of time.
Yeah.
It's fine. And to be fair, I don't know if a lot of people are like my wife, but my wife, it hasn't really affected her.
Yeah.
She still wanted to fire it up at night and watch, even though she knows who the winners are.
Yeah, absolutely.
I apologize. This is my first time back on, driving for a while. So I'm so sorry if I've ruined anyone's experience who likes to go back and watch it. But
There's no way.
There's no way.
There's no way.
Especially
unless you got a
in this
Nokia
world, you can't. Yeah, exactly.
phone and you're just not on social media at all. So I guess it's possible.
Yeah. And this brings back Simone, maybe you'll appreciate this, but like it brings back, the beam conversation of like the beam is kind of a spoiler as well. Rami used to talk about, shout out Rami. He used to talk about it all the time. He used to live in Midtown and he was like, there'd be times where, I can't literally build my life around the Kings, especially their road schedule. It's like, hey, I finally don't have to be there. Let me go grab dinner with some friends or with my significant other or whatever. You come home at 9:30 at night, and I think the big spoiler in the sky. You call it like this.
We all have to stay informed.
Exactly.
That's all it's about.
I'm okay with waiting if we're behind and I feel like we're gonna catch up. But if the whole game is over, I'm not a DVR game person, but because I am on social media so much. But I had a buddy, and he's in Napa. And we were staying out there, and he said, and this was when it was Niners-Eagles. So huge game. We wanted to get tacos and get
the
some
Niners
food.
Eagle game, like the Brock one.
Not the Brock one,
okay,
the one from this year, the one from this past season.
Oh,
And
December,
we were probably a quarter behind. And he said, "Don't look at your phone. When we get home, we'll watch."
Sure.
And I was okay with it because I knew we would catch up.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
especially
if he had told
quarter,
me to not look at my phone and we got to watch the whole game, I'm not doing it, brother.
Yeah.
I just won't tell you. I just won't tell you.
That's how I am too. Even though it does definitely ruin the experience. It is a completely different experience when you know the conclusion of it, when you know the result of it. But yeah, I still have to. I can't watch if it's already done. I have to look at the score.
Yeah, you're just gonna run into it some way, somehow. So shout out to Simone. Is that official?
It is official.
Okay, it is official. Simone,
back on top of the world,
maybe
baby.
we won't say the rest of the. We won't say where Suni Lee finished. How about that? We'll tell you. We'll tell you the big one. But yeah,
it is official, and now we're off to the women's 200-meter fly and badminton as well.
I need the running to start, man. I need it.
It's got to be soon. It's probably this weekend.
It's probably this weekend, if not next Monday.
Yeah. As we get into Bleacher Report ranking the 10 best trade assets in the NBA right now, this is from Dan Favale, Chris, and it was a bit interesting to me. I don't really know what to do with the picks. I don't really want to waste time on the picks.
Yeah, who cares?
Because it's based on how good or bad a team may be. So I'm just going to do the players. And really, they have more picks than players,
of
right?
Course,
so
yeah, they are the best assets.
They're looking for something here. So number 10, I thought was interesting. They have here's a spoiler alert. They have two. This is how good of a position the Thunder are in. They have two players from the Oklahoma City Thunder. Dang. You want to guess?
Chet Holmgren.
Trade piece?
Oh, I guess. Well, so what is this? Yeah. So is this like people who are actually potentially getting traded? Mm-hmm. Because if we're just doing Giannis is like the number one trade piece, but he's obviously not getting traded. So I need some context.
Here you go. As we attempt to navigate the lulls of the NBA in late July, it's time to embark on an annual mission designed to spice up the transactional drought. A comprehensive ranking of the league's top 10 trade assets right now. Emphasis on right now. Accounting for immediacy helps us winnow down the field of options. For instance, the Sixers have a super tasty trade chip in the Los Angeles Clippers unprotected 2028 first-round pick, but team president Daryl Morey won't peddle that in negotiations until trade restrictions lift on potential matching salary in December. So basically, they go on to say this exercise will instead look to spotlight players and picks who are feasibly available and have the most appeal as centerpieces in aggressive blockbuster buys. Lauri Markkanen will be worth a whole lot if the Utah Jazz actually move him, but they aren't dangling him as part of home run swing consolidation. When he's shipped out, it'll be for a combination of assets like the ones you're about to see, so you won't find him here. So basically, it's to help get a blockbuster piece is what they're saying.
Got you.
Okay, so with that being
sense.
said, two guys from the Thunder. This first guy is number 10.
First guy from the Thunder, number 10. Is it Cason Wallace?
He is on it, but he's higher than number 10.
Okay. So who? Wow, man.
Cason comes in at number 5.
Who do they draft?
Think about who they just acquired.
It was Nikola Jovic? Or no?
Think about who they just acquired and who that would make a bit
Alex Caruso,
redundant.
Lou Dort?
That's right. Lou Dort comes in at number 10.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes. Lou Dort comes in at number 10. Again, number 9. Phoenix 2031 first round pick. We're not wasting time with that.
Okay.
Number 8, Los Angeles Clippers 2031 first round pick.
Really good.
Los Angeles at number 7, another pick. Number 6, another pick. Number 5, Cason Wallace. Number 4, Laker picks. Number 3, very interesting, Chris. Young talent in the East. You are very high on this guy, and your hope was that whoever the Kings drafted, their rookie could have this type of impact. Wow, that should be a layup. He's in the East.
Franz Wagner?
You're close, same state.
Jaime Jaquez.
That's right. Jaime Jaquez at number 3.
Okay.
I guess if the Heat are trying to get that big piece.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he was almost in the Dame trade. I mean, that was, I think, the big holdup in the Dame trade was that they didn't want to get rid of Jaquez.
Yeah. So number 1 is another pick, Phoenix Suns first round picks via Houston. So number 2 is the last one, and anything I say is going to spoil this for you. You know who it is.
Yeah, just lay it out.
Brandon Pajemski. The second best trade asset right now.
What are we doing?
No Kuminga on there. I guess based on what they're doing and the
what are they doing?
Immediacy, that's why Keegan isn't on there. That's what's tough about the move that the Kings made. Do you really want to complete? You're essentially blowing. If you get DeRozan and Lauri, I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot to figure out in one setting. That's why I think Keegan's not on here.
I don't. Why is Brandon Podziemski number 2? What are we doing? What are we talking about here? What is going on? What universe are we living in which Brandon Podziemski has more value, according to this, than 2 Laker first-round picks? More value than who? What's number 1? Phoenix 27-20. So we're putting the Phoenix Suns, who have a 36-year-old Kevin Durant, a $50 million, 33, 34-year-old Bradley Beal. We're putting their picks 3-4 years from now when those guys are 37 and 40. Those picks are in the same tier as Brandon Podziemski. What are we talking about?
I'm telling you, it's the best PR. Who's got better PR? Tyrese Halliburton or Brandon Podziemski?
Podziemski. It's not even close.
I don't know.
It's not even close. At least you can maybe make the argument Tyrese's was kind of organic from his NBA Cup run.
Yeah.
What? I mean, I know he led the league in charges. I know he was a just solid all-around player, but that does not mean that you have justice. I just can't picture teams really out here saying, oh my God, I can't. I can't do this. I can't. I feel like Sasha and Davion were just traded again. I don't know where my mind wants to go in a million different places, and I can't pick one. How is Brandon Podziemski the second most valued asset in the NBA non-star? That is absolutely
right, and maybe
crazy to me.
And maybe Kuminga isn't on there and Keegan isn't on there because they're more valued on the team, right? That's one way to look at it as well. You know, it's just time for the next shoe to drop. Marketing. And again, August 6th, we are 5 days away from a big decision. And as we had Brett Siegel on the show yesterday, chances are starting to look like Lauri Markkanen is going to stay in Utah, and the Jazz might turn into buyers. That is what is happening here with this new CBA and everything in the NBA right now. Coming up next, we give an Olympic update, and we go over the members of the NFL 2024 class, including one San Francisco 49ers. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hi, welcome to Staples. Hi, my son's teacher emailed his back-to-school list. He needs crayons and a comp book for every subject.
Okay, no problem. With Staples Hot Deals, you'll find super low prices on hundreds of items for back to school.
Oh, now they're saying he needs folders and glue.
You got it.
And markers?
Of course.
Oh, geez.
Can we get a cart, please?
Save big on back to school with Staples Hot Deals. Right now, 24-pack Crayola crayons and comp books are only 50 cents each at Staples. Ends 8/24, in-store only, limit 10.
Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing strategies that deliver results. On your next campaign, aim higher. Go to aimyourdigital.com and get started today. aimyourdigital.com.
If you've been on the American River, it's uphill, it's downhill. There's trails everywhere that you can walk, and it just makes you happy. And I couldn't walk, and it was terrible. I was turning into a real crab. I went to the Good Feet store and I tried on the arch supports. I could not believe that I was not in pain. I can walk, I can run, I can jump, I can do anything. My name's Terry, and that's my Good Feet story.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Sponsored by Xfinity Internet. Enjoy ultimate control of your home network. Personalize your Wi-Fi name and password. Assign user profiles. View and control connected devices and more with the Xfinity Internet app.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sacktown Sports.
Well, the time has come, Chris. I mean, we got to give these Olympic updates. Suni Lee got bronze, with Simone getting the gold. And Simone had on a diamond. It's not very big, so I don't want you to think Quavo here, but Simone had a diamond-plated goat necklace that she was wearing. And everybody is just marveling over what they just watched. Also shared a moment, Chris, with her husband, Jonathan Owens, who is on the Chicago Bears now. And they're doing the heart, Chris, the hand heart. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of
weird Caitlin Clark
that weird Caitlin Clark thing. A couple of things. Obviously, that dude who is no longer able to cover the team, but also when that people tried to make Caitlin Clark the only person that did that.
Yes,
that was so bizarre to me.
So
hey, that
strange.
thing that you do, that just proved why he should have been pulled off, because
for sure.
It wasn't just that was always because I was confused when I saw him. Hey, that thing that you do, and she says, "Oh." Like this, it was never a Caitlin Clark thing,
No,
right?
not specifically, no.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
No,
I feel like we've been seeing it for a very long time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, people always will make, gestures to people, the family section in the crowd. And I think Sabonis does something to his family in the crowd as well. Yeah.
Right. So shout out to Simone Biles. And we do have some updates here as well from the Olympic world, Chris. And I believe this is updating, and let me refresh it just one more time to add in Simone's gold. But the latest on the medal count, USA still leads with 34 total medals, and you have the People's Republic of China with 11 gold. USA 4 behind China with 7 gold medals. They are tied with Australia. You still got basketball. Right, you still got basketball and women's.
Yep.
Okay, and France is sitting in second, tied with Japan with 8 gold. So United States can definitely catch France and Japan. I don't know. There's still time. You still have track, and I looked that up for you, Chris. So
that's a lot of American golds right there.
Yes, or Jamaica.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Careful.
But it's definitely not going to be China. It's definitely not going to be Australia. Maybe Great Britain, I think sometimes will have some fast runners, but like a lot of the track heavy countries are not at the top right now.
Right. And I'm looking here, Chris. It does appear that track and field really gets popping this weekend.
Good.
August 2nd, you have the women's 100-meter preliminary round.
Wait, that's tomorrow.
That's right. So there's a preliminary round, and then there's round 1.
Oh,
so that's a preliminary round, and then later the preliminary round, and I don't know what time this is in, but obviously the preliminary round at 1:05, and then round 1 is at 2:50. So we will get to see Sha'Carri, and then you have on August 3rd the men's preliminary round and men's round 1. So it is this weekend is when the track starts.
Good. Let's get going, because there's nothing more exciting for whatever reason than just watching these people run. Even the 1600 is probably where you start to lose me in terms of entertainment, but all the relays and everything, even like the high jumps, the pole vaulting, all of it. I'm super down to just stand in front of my TV all weekend, or I guess sit in front of my TV all weekend and just watch track and field the entire weekend. I'm so juiced for it. And then, once the medals start getting handed out, that's when it's officially time to lock in.
Yeah. And I already told wifey, hey, if baby Stiles is messing around, we're firing up Miss Rachel on the laptop. I don't care. I'm not
lock in.
Yeah, I'm not.
You didn't spend all that time watching Sprint to miss the big events, right?
For her to take us off doing something. So we will definitely have some fun with that starting tomorrow, heading into the weekend and next week as well. So Chris, you have the members of the 2024 NFL class, which it was announced already, but with the Hall of Fame game tonight happening and everything going on there, we just wanted to refresh everyone's memory.
Yes, the players that will be going into the Hall of Fame, there are a couple honorary enshrinees as well, but the players, and this is officially where I'm starting to feel a little bit of some age here, because these are now players that I kind of grew up with. And, obviously, those older than me will say, oh yeah, that happened to me a long time ago. But this is really the first time where I'm like, these guys played their entire career in my lifetime.
Yes.
And you have Dwight Freeney, one of the best edge rushers, especially of his time, of the Indianapolis Colts, definitely for a good majority of it. Really was kind of like the Chris Jones to Patrick Mahomes. He was a bit of that for Peyton Manning, except for on the outside. Here's the one that I remember even as he was playing, there was questions of, is this guy a Hall of Famer? What do we really do with him? You could say this was also, and I was a child of the Reggie Bush college football era. This guy brought that level of excitement to the NFL. Devin Hester being a Hall of Famer, even though he's a Bear, I don't care. That dude was that's what you watch football for. And it's why I will always hate all of these kickoff rules, all these punt rules that are trying to take away what is honestly one of the most exciting plays in football, is when you get a kickoff or a punt return. Nobody made it as much CTV in my life, maybe with the exception of D'Angelo Hall, than Devin Hester, the dude who returned the opening kickoff in the Super Bowl back for a touchdown. So I cannot believe he's a Hall of Famer. I think it's very deserving, but it's just a really weird, unique position to be in where, is Kyle Juszczyk going to be fullbacks? I think for a while, tight ends were a bit questionable. Kick returners is a brand new category, which I can't imagine anyone else has really stamped their flag down as that is what I will be known for, like Devin Hester. Andre Johnson, obviously incredible receiver for the Houston Texans. I believe, I know I did just look it up before we hit this segment. Andre Johnson, the first ever Houston Texan in the Hall of Fame. Of course, that franchise started in the early 2000s. Definitely wasn't going to give it to Derek Carr, so you're going to give it to Andre Johnson, who was definitely even still the best Texan. I'm sorry, J.J. Watt, but I think he's still the best Texan. Julius Peppers, that guy was a monster, obviously an edge rusher from the Panthers, spent some time with the Packers as well. And then it's the one that everybody wants to know about around here. It was a really big deal when he got announced. I believe it was the week that we were at the Super Bowl. He got announced. We saw him walking around. One Patrick Willis, some will say, and especially around here will say, the greatest linebacker post Ray Lewis in the NFL. And I definitely think there's an argument for that. Patrick Willis, I would probably say, is the most beloved 49er of the 2000, post 2000s. Yeah.
I mean, it's he's definitely one of
in my friend group for sure. I think people love Patrick Willis, and I get it, but a bit surprising, just obviously with all the Niner greats. Frank Gore probably is a close second, but feels like Patrick Willis is pretty much everybody's guy who's a Niner fan. I don't think anybody has anything bad ever to say about the way Patrick Willis played, and
he's the measuring stick.
He's the guy.
Right?
He is the guy
for that position, and just the defense that the Niners put out there. He is who everybody gets measured by.
Everybody, yeah. And he was great. He's everything you would want in a Niner for sure. Like he spent his whole career with the 49ers. That's obviously a dying breed just in all sports. But yeah, it really feels like Julius Peppers. It really feels like Patrick Willis just is what everyone thinks of when they think of the Niners and their success, more so in the 2010s and I think the later 2000s as well. He held down that spot for so long. I remember when he was drafted. I think he was drafted in the Adrian Peterson draft as well, out of Ole Miss. So he really just held down that linebacker spot for his entire career. Had some great partners as well throughout his time. Him and Navarro Bowman were incredibly fun to watch. You had some Aldon Smith years in there as well. They were definitely the best linebacking core in the NFL for a couple years. And obviously incredibly deserving to be a Hall of Famer. And I think it's going to be a really fun moment for Niner fans to get to watch him. And I'm sure he's going to have an amazing speech that'll probably pull at the heartstrings of a lot of Niner fans out there.
Great stuff. Coming up next, we go over some NBA futures odds for MVP, Rookie of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year, and Kings wins. Where do the Sacramento Kings and the players fall? Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead. Outstanding ball movement by Sacramento.
Every triple, every jam, every Kings win.
Sabonis with the jam over the Joker. He's got the three-point shot.
Get your Kings fix all season long.
Right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings.
Here's a steal by Fox, a breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
Sacktown Sports at SacktownSports.com.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Seems as though casual players are always trying to balance the desire to hit the golf ball farther with shooting lower scores. Whether you hit a 270-yard drive or miss a 12-inch putt, they both count a stroke on your scorecard. Some of us will never hit the ball 270 yards, and trying normally leaves us well short and well right of the target. Seems as though improving our putting might be an easier way to shoot better scores. Putting is about confidence. It's about feeling the greens, seeing the line, visualizing the ball going in the hole, and making a confident stroke. Harvey Penick says, never, repeat, never allow yourself to think about what's riding on the putt, whether it's a major championship or just a 50-cent wager. Hit the putt as you've hit 10,000 putts in the past. Concentrate on imitating your final practice stroke, not on what will happen if you either miss it or make it. A positive mind will cure a lot of ills. Think about it. Really, think about it. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Can we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sacktown Sports. Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
We are a show of the people, and we continue to be a show of the people. And moving forward, we will be letting you know, spoiler alert, or I will say spoiler alert, or Chris will say spoiler alert. Give it a second so you can mute us, whatever it is, before we announce the winner or whoever just won an event or something like that. We understand there's certain events that people care about more than others. I don't think we'd be getting calls if we announced the
handball championship.
Yes, the handball championship, and specifically when the U.S. is involved. So we will definitely try to do that, which means, and I guess we can still workshop this, Chris, and well, we're going to workshop it separately because this is our last show for over a week. But yeah, I don't think we'll repeat things. So we already said it once. You can look it up. The gymnastics final is done. It is done. Yeah. And you can, if you're driving home now or going to watch it tonight, and you're going to avoid social media for the next whatever hour. Like I said, you got that Nokia. Well, good on you. Play Snake until it's about 7, 8 o'clock. Spoiler alert, because this is a good story.
Well,
no, this is a different one.
Is this related to Olympics?
Yes.
Okay, I was like,
this is not,
you don't want to
this
say
is not
spoiler
American.
alert and then have them turn it down. You just said spoiler alert.
That's right.
It's a sign to turn it down.
Right.
Okay, so you are going to spoil something right here.
Yes, but it's a good story, and it's not American.
Okay.
All right. This is once
I'm
every
more
4
saying
years.
that maybe
We don't have.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You maybe didn't have to throw the
use
spoiler
and
alert.
abuse.
But there might be a Brazilian.
That's what I'm saying.
There might be
no. We got it. This is like
Let's
the
hear
breaking news thing all over again.
We're just not talking Olympics then. I don't know what to do. It was just a good story.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Brazilian gymnast Rebecca Andrade had 3 ACL tears in 4 years. She just took home silver in the all-around competition.
Fantastic.
There we go.
There you go. Sorry for the Brazilians.
We're going to get calls. Again.
Probably. So, Chris, let's get into that. There's no spoilers here because we don't know what's going to happen yet with the NBA futures and where a lot of the Kings fall in this situation.
Yeah, for sure. We're doing the odds of everything. I don't know how to properly phrase it. I don't like the futures. The NBA futures is the way that I believe it's stated. And we're going to do all of them, all the biggest ones that include your Sacramento Kings. I'm going to break it down, and it's pretty crazy, ladies and gentlemen. The Kings are involved in how many of these? 8 of these potential NBA futures. The Kings have at least one person involved, whether it's MVP, Rookie of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year. Of course, we're going to do the Kings win over under. We're going to do will the Kings win the Pacific Division, but they also have maybe 1, maybe 2 players in the Clutch Player of the Year odds, Coach of the Year odds, and Most Improved Player odds. And let's start with the big one. Why not? This is the largest odds of any of the Sacramento Kings players for MVP, which does kind of make sense because, and maybe we can go through the exercise. It's going to be pretty tough for the Sacramento Kings to get an MVP just because of everything that goes into it. Not only do you have to play like an MVP, but your team has to win enough games to justify it. And frankly, there is a bit of a Sacramento tax when it comes to the MVP because they're not going to want to give an MVP to the Sacramento Kings. They're going to want to give it to, the Giannis's, the Jokic's. Luka still hasn't won an MVP, so obviously there's a lot in the Kings' way, and that is reflected with this massive, massive, massive line here for Domantas Sabonis, who is the only Sacramento King listed on these odds. He is plus 20,000 to win
De'Aaron's not
MVP.
even on it.
De'Aaron is not included. DeMar DeRozan is not included in these odds. It is only Domantas Sabonis as the Kings' apparent best MVP case. I believe last year, let me see, I know he finished top 10 in MVP voting last year, so maybe if you are a person who likes to kind of play the numbers a bit, I think you're probably getting pretty good value. He finished 7th in MVP in 2022-23, and then last season he finished 8th in MVP total. So definitely you're getting better than what is implied as the 22nd best odds to win MVP. Domantas Sabonis is. Let's just go with some of the more obscure names that are in front of him. Trae Young is also plus 20,000. Paolo Banchero. Trae Young has the same odds to win MVP as Domantas Sabonis, as does Paolo Banchero. Pretty surprisingly, actually, LeBron James is listed, 21st, 19th best odds with plus 12,500. That's pretty significant. Anthony Davis actually technically has better with plus 10,000. Our guy Tyrese Halliburton, Mr. Disrespect. Well, I guess I have to call him Mr. and not Doctor. That could have gotten a little dicey. 6,600 are his odds. I don't know what number. That puts him in the top 15 for MVP. You have Jaylen Brown up there. You have John Morant at plus 3,300. You have Jalen Brunson at plus 1,800. And then some of the more likely ones, you have Wemby actually with the the 7th best odds at plus 1,400. And then your leader for the lowest odds to win MVP, as in the most likely to win MVP, is Luka Doncic at plus 375. Trailed closely by Nikola Jokic plus 400 and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander plus 450. So there you go. Domantas Sabonis, again, 22nd best odds to win MVP at plus 20,000. You can definitely make some good cheddar on that one if you put anything down.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not likely.
He's just not going to get past 7 on the ladder.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, he didn't get past 6. He can only get in the honorable mentions.
That's just what it is. And honestly, I'm surprised that Sabonis is on here with the acquisition of DeMar DeRozan and another year of Keegan Murray's growth. I just don't think Sabonis is going to put up the same scoring numbers that we've seen, which I think will take him out of this conversation.
Definitely. Yeah, 100%. I definitely agree with you. I think his scoring is probably even going to go down, which probably hurts him. And do you think De'Aaron is the best actual bet for it?
Yeah, that's why I was surprised that he just wasn't. I wonder if he was listed last season with no DeMar DeRozan, but
right.
I would go with De'Aaron, not Sabonis on that one. But I would maybe switch it and just put De'Aaron at the 20,000 and not have Sabonis. But it feels disrespectful to not have Sabonis on there. So.
That probably also means you can get really good odds, even better odds on De'Aaron Fox. So there you go. If you believe it's going to be De'Aaron, definitely make your way down to Reno. Rookie of the Year, the Roy. This one is a bit tougher and probably a bit skewed because as we know, Devin Carter is probably going to miss all the way until at least December. I think 6 months would actually put him in January, February. So we'll see when he can actually play. Devin Carter for Rookie of the Year is still listed, which, if you're below Devin Carter, probably says a lot. And we'll definitely get to Bronny James's number. He has a whole subset of things you can put some cheddar on. But
my lunch.
Absolutely insane. Devin Carter is the, let's see here. He is listed at the the 18th best odds to win Rookie of the Year, plus 10,000. And just about any rookie you can think of that was highly touted is ahead of him. Your boy Tejan Salon is at plus 3,500. You have Cody Williams at plus 2,000. Donovan Clingan, 1,600. Dalton Connect at plus 1,100. You also have Rob Dillingham at plus 12. You have Matas Buzelis, who I would have loved to see what that number looked like pre-Summer League. He's at plus 900. And this is actually pretty interesting. The number one best odds to win, or I don't know how I should phrase it. Is it best or worst odds? If you
Best
if you
odds.
have yes, if
Best
you are
odds.
the most likely, then you have the best. Okay,
Yeah.
so the best odds to win Rookie of the Year. I'm pretty surprised by this. I guess maybe I shouldn't be. Zach Edey plus 600 to win Rookie of the Year, followed by Reed Shepard plus 700, Zachary Risachet at plus 800, and again Alex Sarr 850, Stephon Castle 900, Matas Buzelis plus 900. I don't really know what to do with that one.
Stay away from Alex Sarr.
Yeah,
I
he
think
should be with Devin Carter, honestly.
Yeah, this better be some cheese that you don't necessarily need because it's random as heck.
So random. I don't even know who would be my personal favorite to win. I guess Zach Edey's a good shout. Reed Shepard is probably the one that I would like the most, but I think in general this rookie class is going to be a bit confusing.
It's Matas
Buzelis, man. We'll see.
He's in the East.
It makes sense. Yeah, he's on the Bulls. They ain't
Who's
doing
going to
nothing.
take the shots from him? Not Giddy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right?
Zach LaVine's got to play to take his shots.
LaVine and whatever's left of him.
Yep. I'm not.
It's Matas.
I think
all day.
Matas is a really good shout.
I'm in on Matas.
Alan's going back to Reno, baby.
I'm back in on
Let's
Matas.
go. Now here we actually get. Now those are the two biggest wild cards in terms of the highest or lowest odds to win. Lowest odds to win those awards. This one, on the other hand, the Kings have the best shout to win this one, and that's Sixth Man of the Year, where we already know Malik Monk has been robbed twice of this award. There is now, I think the lane is very clear for Malik to win. He has the best odds for Sixth Man of the Year, plus 500. You have the reigning Sixth Man of the Year, Naz Reid, in second at plus 700. By the way, these are all from Bet Online, where it's just kind of an online bookie. That's where we're getting these numbers from. And then you have kind of a clumping of the rest, the best of the rest. Again, Malik is plus 500, Naz Reid plus 700. Then you have Clarkson at plus 12, Karras at plus 12. You have Dante DiVincenzo plus 1,600. Buddy Hield, brand new Golden State Warrior, coming in at plus 1,600. Your boy Bobby Portis at plus 1,600. Norm Powell, 1,600. Josh Hart, 1,600. Caruso, 1,600. Jaime Jaquez, Chris Paul, and Russell Westbrook, all rounding out the plus 1,600. So there's two very clear favorites in the number one and the runner-up for Sixth Man last year, and then just a pool of a bunch of other guys. I would actually feel like Chris Paul is going to start in San Antonio. So I don't know I don't know if I would put anything on that one, but definitely Malik Monk being the favorite, and obviously this is the most likely award for a Sacramento King to win.
Yeah. As far as Malik Monk is concerned, do you think that there's any part of him that doesn't mind starting because he wants this award? Or doesn't mind not starting because he wants this? Because he feels like he deserves this award. It's almost like and I know he didn't end up getting it, but Aaron Gordon versus Zach LaVine. I don't want to be done with the dunk contest until I get one, right? I deserve a six-man award. And I don't know how that works with the contracts, Chris. Do they get a bonus for these awards?
Definitely. Yeah, you can. I would actually be shocked if he didn't have some form of bonus for winning Sixth Man of the Year, because that kind of does incentivize the Kings to put him off the bench, and it helps Malik kind of ease the blow of, hey, we actually would love for you to come off the bench, and here's some financial incentive for you to get excited about that
there's
idea.
Probably
too.
something in the contract.
I would almost guarantee it, especially. With that being such a hot button topic going into the contract negotiations, I would almost guarantee that and Malik's agent isn't doing his job if he doesn't say, well, about this starting thing, can we at least make it lucrative for my client if he does come off the bench and win the award that represents the best at doing what you're asking him to do. So it would make all the sense in the world. And I'm sure we'll find that out closer to that award being handed out. And last but not least, before we move on to a whole nother set of futures for the Sacramento Kings, the big one, the wins over under 46.5. The Kings are listed at on betonline.com. Alan, that puts them tied for sixth in the Western Conference in terms of the other numbers that they were given behind teams, of course, like OKC, like Denver, like the Dallas Mavericks. There's, I believe they're tied with the Phoenix Suns at 46.5. Teams like the Orlando Magic are at 47.5. There was another one that I believe was at 47.5. The Pelicans are at 46.5. The Warriors, it's the Grizzlies. Grizzlies are the other team at 47.5, which I thought was interesting. For those wondering, Golden State Warriors, 43.5 wins. The Lakers at 44. So the Kings are projected currently to have more wins than both of those teams. Alan Stiles, 46.5 wins. Of course, the Kings won 48 2 years ago in the Beam Team season, won 46 this past season. This is Vegas doing their best work here. 46.5 wins.
46.5 wins. Fair or foul? Let's talk about it when we return. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out sacktownsports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on sacktownsports.com.
I'm a very active person that likes to move around and go. The pain I was in was really excruciating. It was actually debilitating. I was basically heading towards a sedentary lifestyle. I had really tried everything, but I quickly lost hope with all of the things that we had tried, and that's what led me to the Good Feet store. And when I found the Good Feet system, it really just changed everything. It brought me back to life. I have my active lifestyle back.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Sacramento, Dirks Bentley's coming to town. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends. Parmalee, Tyler Rich, Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com. Brought to you by The Scoundrel Red Wine, Naturewood Home Furnishings, and Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sacktown Sports.
Chris, Esteban wants to know the Clippers over
on the
the
Los Angeles Clippers. Oh boy. Yeah. They not looking too great. Trying to see where they're at relative to other Western teams, but I'm seeing a lot of Western teams that have a higher number than the Clippers. I'll tell you that right now. Wow, like a lot. Where do they have them finishing? They have the Clippers, sorry to drag that along. They have the Clippers at 41.5 wins.
They're done,
They
man.
have them at 500.
They're done.
Much. That's cooked. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. If it was, they would
got
move
James
off of
Harden
Kawhi.
and Kawhi, man.
Yeah.
And they're at 41.5. That tells you that they just don't believe that Kawhi is going to play another full season.
You know what? As we talk about Paul George, who moved on from the Clippers, and we're about to get in whether 46.5, whether that's fair or foul for the Kings. But do you think James Harden, and again, in his heart of hearts, you think he's okay with the pursuit being over? Because I feel like James Harden from a couple years ago, Paul George leaves. There's no way, unless he thought Paul George was going to stay, there's no way this James Harden from a couple years ago isn't throwing a hissy fit to get out of LA.
Yeah, I mean,
right, because he wanted, his whole thing. I want to be known as a winner. I want to be remembered as a winner. He's still got some good years left, and you're just going to stay in LA with Derrick Jones Jr. and Kawhi's dusty knees.
Yeah, no, I definitely think it's maybe he's pulled that card too many times. That could really be it. Is that if James Harden complains his way out of another situation, he obviously could have signed somewhere else in free agency had he just opened up his free agency and didn't re-up with the Clippers. But he's already kicked himself out of 2-3 different situations in Houston, in Philadelphia, and in Brooklyn. Maybe a fourth. He just, maybe his agent said, you can't do this again. There's not going to be a lot of suitors out there because, he did kind of go out there and disrespect Daryl Morey. And we know, as simple as Monty McNair used to be Daryl Morey assistant. And Daryl Morey, probably more so than anybody, has tentacles all throughout the league. Maybe a lot of people are sour on James Harden. Maybe there is a lot of politics that go on in it. And James only has a certain amount of locations that'll even take him. And the Clippers are one that will cater to everything he wants too. Yeah, he's in LA. He gets the ball tons. Maybe he's got everything he wants. And maybe he never really cared about winning.
How old is he now?
He's probably 32, 33, if I had to guess.
Brother.
Celebrity birthdays.
He's 34, and he turns 35 this month, August 26th.
Yeah, they're cooked. That's
what I'm saying.
That's an old generation at this point.
You got to make your way. I mean, hit up the Warriors or somebody.
Something, dude. Yeah, there's no
the
way.
Lakers.
There's no way. I'll list the teams that have lower win totals. The Jazz have 27.5. The Spurs have 35.5. The Blazers have 22.5. That might be it. That's it. That's it in the West.
I'm not trying to have the – wait, how many do the Nuggets have?
The Nuggets have 52.5.
Yeah, I'm smashing that under.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
That is easy. Parlay cheese, Nuggets under, Kings over. Book it.
Man, they have the Clippers as the 4th worst team in the Western Conference right now, which I think puts them at an 11 seed, if I'm not mistaken.
Chris, you're bringing up an idea in my head to kind of chat about with Paul George and that 2010 class as we discuss kind of the greats of the 2010s, really.
Yeah.
And
what a time that was all the way back.
A long time ago, and who made it, who didn't. But we're going to put a pin in that one for now because I do want to get into the 46.5 wins. The Kings had 46 wins. I know we read something last week that said take the under. Kings had 46 wins last season with an ice-cold Kevin Huerter that couldn't shoot and then got injured, and then a Malik Monk who got injured and couldn't play the rest of the season, a Keegan Murray who wasn't able to shoot the 3-ball.
Yep.
And with all that and losing some of the worst games you could imagine, and with Harrison Barnes being Casper the Friendly Ghost disappearing at different times, with all that in the West, they still got 46 wins. I don't understand how I know a lot of people don't think that DeMar DeRozan has helped his team, but 46.5, that, like I said, that's easy cheese to me.
Yeah.
That's easy. That is no sweat cheese to me.
Agreed, 100%. I think that the Kings are definitely, just undeniably a better overall team than they were last year. And, everyone will say, oh, but the West got better too. I just don't really think it did to that level. I don't think it collectively rose. We're talking about the Clippers. The Clippers were a 4 seed last year. They're going to take a step back. The Kings are going to take a step up. I think the Lakers are going to take a step back. Are the Pelicans going to be as good as they were last year? We think they should be, but Zion was pretty healthy for the most part last year. They're also dealing with this weird Brandon Ingram thing. They're also inserting DeJounte Murray, and they don't have Valanciunas anymore, who was a really big piece for them, just not getting killed size-wise. I'm not convinced that all these teams have just all rising tides lift all boats. I'm not entirely sold that the entirety of the West, and you mentioned Denver got worse as well. I think it's totally easy to see the Kings winning 47, 48 games at least. To me, this is a 50-win team, and they can go 2 games up or down based off of things like clutch and where their defense ends up falling. If they Alan, you didn't even throw in your things that they couldn't make a free throw last year. Can you just, if you shoot 80% from the free throw line, 78, I'll take 78% from the free throw line, which is about league average.
Yeah.
You're winning at least 2 to 3 more games.
Even their bench. Trey Lyles was injured. Yeah. Sasha Vezenkov was homesick. I mean, what are we talking about? He sprained both ankles at one time. They had no bench. They had no bench. They had Davion Mitchell.
Yeah, Davion. They had to play Keon.
Yes.
They were at the point where
they still got the 46 wins.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think
it's not disrespectful because I don't want them to hear this and raise it. But I'm mad I just left Reno because that is easy, man.
Easy. Super easy to me. I think that's going to be I think that's pretty sweat-free, honestly. I think the Kings are, and we definitely have some bias here, but I just think wholeheartedly the Kings are much, much improved, and I will still shout it from the mountaintop. People are not giving this DeMar DeRozan addition enough respect. I think this guy is on a complete different level than any of the players that we were honestly talking about them getting. He's better than Kyle Kuzma. He's better than the Cam Johnsons. He's at the very least at the same level as a guy like Brandon Ingram. And it feels like just because people didn't see it coming that they couldn't get the proper amount of hyped. And instead there's a bunch of, I don't know about the fit. I don't know about the spacing. His defense is a problem. How about the fact that we turned Harrison Barnes, who was at best league average, but to be honest, he's a lower level starter at this point in his career, and replaced him with who has literally been a top 5 shooting guard in the league perennially and is just an absolute bucket. And we get Malik Monk back as well. He's on a new contract. He has a lot more familiarity in terms of his role moving forward. He's going to have a lot more ownership over it. I just don't see how this team isn't better.
Kevin Huerter can't be worse.
Smash it. He can't. He cannot be worse.
He literally can't.
No way he's going to play worse than he played last year.
Coming up next, we continue the conversation. Clutch player. Now the disrespect begins.
Yeah, this is kind of wild.
Now it begins. Let's get into it. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. They'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave inviting you to make the switch to electric this spring and save big with American Energy. Stay ahead of those spiking energy bills this summer with up to $9,000 in rebates on a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. American Energy is providing huge rebates from SMUD as well as spring specials by installing one of many incredibly efficient AC options available to you right now. Get rid of those fluctuating gas bills in the winter and switch to year-round all-electric with American Energy. Let them perform a free in-home energy efficiency analysis and see where they can help you save for the warmer months ahead. These guys are the best. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ from the Better Business Bureau. Learn more by calling 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Hey, get ready to rock, groove, and have a blast with the Sacktown Sports live events calendar. We've got an unbeatable lineup of shows that you won't want to miss. It's Brett Young and Chase Rice at Thunder Valley on August 3rd. Plus, Jason Mraz and the Super Band will be rocking Thunder Valley on August 9th. Then head out of the heat to higher elevation for the Truckee Music Festival on August 9th and 10th, featuring Kip Moore and Sublime. And here's your Live Nation lineup. On August 4th, don't miss the Outlaw Music Festival at Toyota Amphitheater featuring Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, and John Mellencamp. On August 15th, catch Donnie Osmond at Hard Rock Live Sacramento. Then on August 22nd, Creed Fisher takes the stage at Ace of Spades. And on September 10th, enjoy the timeless sounds of the Doobie Brothers at Toyota Amphitheater. Rounding out this rockin' lineup is the Lodi Grape Festival from September 12th through the 15th, featuring Joe Nichols and Smash Mouth. For information and tickets, visit grapefestival.com. And then stay tuned to Sacktown Sports for exclusive updates and your chance to win tickets.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys, live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus, view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
All right, Chris, there are a couple here out of the next group: clutch player, coach of the year, most improved player, and the Kings' odd to win the division. I don't really like. There's one that I don't mind, but the other three I'm pretty ticked off about. So let's just get to it.
Okay. Let's go a little more obscure first before we get into the juicy stuff. Let's do most improved player, which again does have some pretty high odds, but I thought it was interesting that this player was even listed at all. And you have to go pretty much to the bottom of the list to find this guy. He has the 46th best odds, which is the deepest pool of any of these players or picks that we're going to talk about here. Most improved player, and I kind of wish I didn't put it down because I would have loved to have you try and guess who you think is the Kings candidate, but you listening at home right now or in your car can get your guesses in for who the most improved player could be from the Sacramento Kings. Just to give you some of the top options for most improved player for this coming season, you have Victor Wembanyama at plus 850, which is, Alan, how is Victor going to win most improved player when he was already insane? I guess, he can still be that, in that just, again, point to how insane he is. He has your favorite pick, I know, Jonathan Kuminga at plus 900. You have Evan Mobley at plus 1,000 because we've all been waiting for Evan Mobley to at some point improve to a significant level. Jalen Johnson, the only untouchable in Atlanta, is plus 1,400. Scotty Barnes, plus 1,800. Jalen Williams, I assume of OKC. I think that's J-Dub, 1,800. Josh Giddey, I think, is a really good shout at plus 1,800. And then you have Cade Cunningham at plus 2,200 and Emmanuel Quickly at plus 2,200 as well. Your boy, Brandon Pajemski at plus 2,800. And that will bring us to...
Someone's guessing, two people guessing most improved from the 530 and the 916. Kevin Herter.
Kevin Herter is a great guess. And probably, I would say, would be my guess as well.
Where's Keegan?
Keegan's not on this list at all. Unfortunately, Kevin Herter isn't listed as one of the odds as well.
Is there an age limit on this?
There is not. No, there is definitely not. You have Jordan Poole on this list. You've got, let's see here, who's probably the
comeback player of the year.
Austin Reeves is on this list. Let's see here. Who are some of the deeper ones here? Patrick Williams is still included on this list. He has the same odds as the King, in which I'm about to reveal. You got Cam Thomas, who I think is a good shout. It's definitely a lot of younger players, but even Kobe White is still listed on this as well, Jalen Green. But the Sacramento King representative, which is not required, but he is thrown in here, definitely towards the bottom of the list when it comes to most improved players. This is from Bet Online. Alan, they have Keon Ellis at plus 7,500. Again, the 46th best odds to win most improved player this season.
And again, you brought up Jonathan Kuminga, and I think it's a good thing to note, Chris, that Jonathan Kuminga did not receive any votes from voters for most improved player last season, not because he didn't deserve it, because there's also a threshold that he did not hit. So the reason I say that is to have Keon Ellis on here, that assumes that Keon Ellis is going to play a good amount of games this season and do it at a high level.
Definitely, yeah. I would say Keon is a really good shout. If you look at his just season numbers, which is what they will probably compare for this award. Like, hey, this is what you averaged at the end of last season and you jumped all the way to this. Keon, that base number in which they're going to be determining the improvement off of last season, 5.4 points per game, 2.2 assists, 1.5 assist, 2.2 rebounds, 1.5 assists, 46% from the field, 41% from three. But if you look at his post All-Star numbers, it goes all the way up to 8 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, 2 assists. He also shot 45% from three post All-Star game. That was in 18 games, an 18-game sample size.
How many games did he play this season, Chris?
He played 57 games this season. Total.
Okay, so the rule is a player must participate in 65 regular season games to be eligible.
Okay, so they fit under the same requirements as all the other awards, which is, I guess, interesting. I don't love the 65-game thing for everything. I don't think it counts towards Rookie of the Year. Kind of feels like Most Improved probably should also be one where I don't really care if you played 58 games. If you were the most improved, then you were the most improved to me. But Keon Ellis, plus 7,500 when it comes to the most improved player. Again, putting in 46th best odds. Let's move on to something a little juicier, just a little bit. As we know, Mike Brown won Coach of the Year in that first Beam Team season, his second time taking home the award. And, you know, there definitely becomes some voter fatigue, especially an award like Coach of the Year, where you can really spread it out to new coaches, guys who have, you know, kind of been most improved, or maybe, you know, a Greg Popovich can maybe win it if they have a really surprising season. You can give it to somebody you haven't given it to in a while. And that was kind of what Mike Brown did his first Beam Team season. However, that's not the case anymore. Mike Brown, 20th best odds.
That's terrible.
Plus 33.
I mean, that's not even halfway.
It's not even close. He's one of the later names mentioned on this list. Jordy Fernandez, for what it's worth, is plus 15,000. He is the second lowest odds.
Sorry, Chris. Just want to rewind real quick on that. The Jonathan Kuminga front.
Yes.
It wasn't the game threshold, and it's coming back to me now. I'm looking this up because Knicks fans wanted to know about Dante DiVincenzo, so hang with me here. Not only is it a threshold of 65, there's a further clause that requires the player to earn at least 20 minutes in the qualifying contest or 63 games of at least 20 and 2 more with at least 15. So basically, you have to play 65 at 20 minutes.
Again, why? What?
Yeah, so that's what it was with Kuminga. He played the 65, but he didn't get enough minutes.
Who cares? Who has ever? I mean, if someone's most improved, they're most improved. Like, I don't see why it matters if they were at 18.5. Wow. Okay, thank you.
So he's got to play a lot.
He's got to play a lot. Yeah, 20 minutes is definitely no slouch. For that reference, for what it's worth, Keon last year, 17.2 minutes per game total by the end of the season. So I guess he wouldn't have qualified. Let me see what he was doing in the games post.
And those were injury riddled teams at the end.
For sure. And yes, post All-Star break, he played 25 minutes a game. So, you know, if he just plays as much as he was pretty much once he was inserted in the lineup, no Malik in that time. That's a very, very good point.
Devin Carter comes back.
You're nailing it. It's almost like you have experience here.
Losing,
yeah, exactly. Why are you so familiar with this?
Because
with this
don't worry about
Jonathan Kuminga thing. So yes, Mike Brown has the 20th best odds of any coach. Some of the favorites: Joe Mazzulla to win Coach of the Year. Who won this last year? I don't even think I know off the top of my head. It was Mark Daigneault would be my guess, the OKC coach.
Yeah.
He's sitting at plus 1,200, which is the 8th best odds, 7th best odds.
They don't go back to back.
They don't. No, they don't.
Because
like,
it's the
you
most
have to
surprising.
That's really what it is, right? Like, can we retitle this? Joe Mazzulla plus 900, Jamal Mosley of the Orlando Magic as well, plus 900. Those two are the favorites. Alan, this is where Vegas upsets me, and this is where we need to recenter and say, this is not based off of likelihood. This is based off of action. Okay. Right. So with that being said, Nick Nurse plus 1,000, Tom Thibodeau plus 1,000. JJ Redick, Alan, has the 4th highest odds at plus 1,000. What would it have to look like for JJ Redick to get the proper credit and to be coach of the, like, that's a top 4 seed at least, right?
Yeah.
Maybe Braun misses some time and it's like AD central because it becomes
Rui
a blame
Hachimura
game thing, or I guess credit
goes
game
nuclear.
thing. Yeah, he has to do something where it's not just, oh yeah, you gave LeBron James the keys and Anthony Davis went crazy and played 82 games. That doesn't really, I'm not giving credit to JJ. So JJ's got to do something in this mythological universe that is having him somehow as the 4th best odds to win Coach of the Year. Let's see. Yeah, Mike Brown is behind guys like Steve Kerr plus 3,300 as well. Doc Rivers plus 2,800. Kenny Atkinson plus 22. Jay Kidd plus 22. And Rick Carlisle plus 2,200.
I mean, I like Mike Brown. I like that better than I like Keon.
I was gonna say I like it, but I don't think it's gonna happen. But I think that there's a much better chance than what they're giving him.
Yeah.
Now let's get a little bit spicy. Why don't we? Clutch Player of the Year odds. Okay. And this is again from Bet Online. You can find this over there where they have tons of different NBA futures. You have De'Aaron Fox, Clutch Player of the Year from 2 seasons ago. 14th best odds, plus 2,500. 14th best odds for De'Aaron Fox. DeMar DeRozan, who has perennially been second in this award, is at plus 2,800. The 16th best odds, Alan Stiles. I don't know how. I guess it's just that they think they're going to take away from each other and they won't both be able to shine.
Right.
But they're behind. Tyrese Halliburton is plus 1,600. Trae Young is up here plus 2,000. John Morant's up here. I don't know. Donovan Mitchell, 1,400.
He's on the
Jalen Brunson.
Hawks.
Steph Curry is the favorite. He's going to repeat according to this. Plus 900. Shea plus 900. Luka plus 1,000.
Right.
Anthony Edwards plus 1,000 as well. Again, De'Aaron Fox behind Devin Booker as well, plus 2,500. DeMar DeRozan plus 2,800, putting them 14th and 16th respectively in the best odds.
We haven't seen anybody double up yet because it's only been a couple years.
So
but
Steph and De'Aaron.
Well, but I'm saying 2 awards, right?
Just in general,
I just don't see voters. Voters like parity, and I do not see a voter. I would stay away from Shea, and I would stay away from Luka. I do not see a voter, or I do not see voters. Oh, Luka won Clutch Player and MVP. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, that's pretty weird. Didn't really even consider that, but you're definitely right. There's no way that they're going to not spread that award out, and even if it's a head-to-head race, to your point, they're going to give it to the guy who's not going to win the other
exactly.
award. I would probably maybe stay away from Steph too. I mean, I guess Steph is probably a good shout because back to back. But I would think the Golden State's actually going to be in a lot of close games too. That's the other part of this as well. Is I think Golden State was in the most close games of anybody last season. You also have to end up on the right side of those games in order to obviously be considered clutch. I think I definitely feel like De'Aaron and DeMar have better odds than what those are saying. It's maybe just an opportunity for, if you are a Kings fan, for you to hop on and say, no, I just think whichever one is your horse that you want to ride with, I think that it's just they can't determine which one it's going to be, and so they kind of subtracted a lot from those. So this is a potential opportunity to jump while strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah. I like. Again, I like De'Aaron more than they do, but I understand where they're coming from.
Sure.
DeRozan is going to get those shots.
Sure is.
And hopefully, do you even want – here's the thing. I know that the season the Kings made that playoff run, De'Aaron did win it, but I'm not even necessarily sure that you want to be in the clutch conversation because that means you're in close games. Yeah. Oh, man, did you see that clutch shot that DeRozan had against the Pistons? What? Why are we even in that situation?
Exactly.
Why are we in that situation? So I think it's a very complex award.
It is.
And look,
nobody knows.
De'Aaron won and everybody was happy about it. And that was a crazy season. But then again, you lose in the first round because, we clearly had some holes that De'Aaron kind of saved us with.
Yep.
And then we got to the playoffs and it didn't work out. So I don't know that you want to be in this guy. And the Warriors, Steph won it and they were the 10 seed.
And they lost in the play-in.
And got their doors blown off in the play-in. So
didn't come down to a clutch situation.
Maybe this is a good thing that De'Aaron and DeRozan aren't
I like that
don't have the best odds. Yep. Coming up next, Amani Toomer, De La Salle legend, also former NFL player, goes off on Caleb Williams. All he wanted is for his team to clean up after themselves. Amani Toomer says, you're a rookie. Clean it yourself. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by September 2nd, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
At Progressive, we know money can't buy you happiness, but money did help you buy an RV, which means an excuse from working Saturday with your insufferable coworker, Dave. So money is helping you listen to birds chirp instead of Dave chirping about how his toddler is fluent in 3 languages. And it's also why you'll be smelling pine trees in the air, not Dave's tuna melt reheating in a microwave. So save money by bundling your RV or boat insurance with home or auto from Progressive and buy more happiness, or something close to it. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khdk.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
When your game goes bad, getting back to basics is the quickest way to get on track. Many problems can be traced to forgetting the first lessons a good golf instructor covers: grip, alignment, and posture. If you're not holding the club properly, if you're not aligned to the target, and if you're not in an athletic posture when you take the club back, you'll have to manipulate it somehow to get it back square to the target. That's when bad things happen. When I find myself leaving shots out to the right, I check my grip on the club. I check to see that I'm holding the club lightly in my fingers and that my hands are close together. Check to see that the V's formed by my thumbs and forefingers point to my right shoulder. Take a practice swing and feel as though the hands are working together and turning over naturally through the impact area. Bad alignment makes a good shot go astray, and bad posture makes it difficult to generate clubhead speed. If you're having similar problems, a brush up with a PGA professional will get you going again. For Golf to Go, I'm Frank LaRosa.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Drapes, Kyle Draper. As the proud sponsor of the Sacramento Kings Mop Crew, Alsco Uniforms offers certified hygienically clean lab coats, scrubs, bed linens, towels, floor mats, and an array of mops tailored for your healthcare facility. Our services include convenient delivery to your doorstep. Leading the way in healthcare laundry services in Northern California, discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms. Go to alsco.com to learn more. Again, that's alsco.com.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sacktown Sports.
Chris, about to get into this Amani Toomer sound. He was on, I think, Craig Carton's show. So we will break all of that down. And after that, we will discuss the top tight ends and where the one and only Travis Kelce falls. But here's a little bit of backstory. We talked about it a little bit, but the backstory is that Caleb Williams basically asked his teammates to clean up the locker room, okay, after a practice or something like that. Caleb Williams said, hey, we got to clean this up. You know, we're leaving stuff pretty dirty here. and some people praise the rookie for this, but Amani Toomer, former NFL star, is going off on Caleb Williams because he's a rookie and didn't like it, and I think this is very interesting because some people would say, hey, I like this out of my QB. This is leadership. And some people are saying, and maybe it's more of an NFL veteran thing. Yeah, you're not going to tell me what to do. We're going to give you the bill on stuff, and you got to get hazed and things like that. I think it's confusing when you're a quarterback.
Yeah.
And again, I told you, Chris, about my time at Temple when these young guys come in and the coaches have anointed them saying, we need you to help us win.
Yeah.
They walk in with a different type of swagger.
For sure.
Hey, the way y'all were doing it wasn't working.
Yeah. So good, I wouldn't be here.
I would not be here.
Yep.
Literally, we had to flip this thing upside down.
Yeah.
So here's Amani Toomer going off on Caleb Williams on the Carton show.
Russell Wilson 2.0.
Uh-oh.
This is not going to go over well.
Uh-oh.
If you came in the locker room, I've been in this locker room for 8 years, like you said. And some rookie's going to come in who hasn't played one snap.
Right.
Talking, we're wearing the fingernail polish. Now he's going to come in here and tell me who've been here, who've been through the struggle, that I need to clean up? No, how about rookie? How about you clean up after me?
Right.
How about that? Don't give me this crap. I don't like it at all. I feel like rookies should earn their respect.
Sure.
Just because you got drafted number 1 doesn't mean nothing to me because I don't even know if you're good.
But I think he's trying to be, he may have even said it somewhat, tongue-in-cheek, but I think he's trying to be a leader. He's trying to be that guy. Now,
Stop it.
I get it.
Stop. just play the game. Prove to me that you're really here to be a star. Prove to me you're really trying to make this team better. Don't sit up here and talk about trash around the locker room.
Yeah.
Come on, man, please.
Now,
doing too much.
I would say this. Great leadership would be he just cleans the
That's
locker room
what I'm
up and
saying.
says nothing. But here's the problem. I ain't your mama. I ain't cleaning up after you. Have some respect, right?
I would be like, as I'm cleaning up, the only way this is possible. I'm cleaning up. I'm like, hey, guys, I'm going to do this. Could you guys help me out?
Give me a hand.
Exactly.
Okay, that's
Don't
different.
be like, go up to somebody who's sitting in the tub after a hard day of practice. You're a quarterback. Everybody hates the quarterbacks as it is because they get way too much credit.
Right.
And every
Can't
time,
touch them.
like Eli Manning won. Everybody hates quarterbacks.
I didn't know that.
Eli Manning, he won 2 Super Bowls. Oh, nobody else was out there. He's out there playing tennis by himself. So anyway,
So Amani Toomer is getting cooked in the comments, and from old head's gonna old head, doesn't matter. Leaders lead by example. I guess the only argument that I'm seeing, Chris, is that what he said towards the end when I guess he cooled off a bit, that Caleb could have just started it himself and instead of I guess if it comes off like an order, I don't know.
He asked them to clean up their like I don't see how this is not just framed as, like a hey, clear locker, clear mind. It's like you got everything cluttered all over the place. Hey, I'm not telling y'all how to live your life. I'm just saying from my experience, like, it's all part of the same process, right? Like in the army training, they don't have you put your bed in a certain way because they love to have, the bed's all in order. It's part of the mental structure of it all. It's the principle of it, right? Mm-hmm. And the fact that they're or Amani, I shouldn't even say they, it's clearly just Amani Toomer is so fixated on the cleaning portion of it. It feels like to me, he's completely missing the point. I don't see what's wrong with Caleb saying, hey guys, like we should clean up the locker room. We should have some respect in general for what, the place in which we work every day. Alan, you and I talk about this all the time as we're surrounded by Dave's hot plate and, all these helmets and shoes and all this. It's just a common respect thing, and I don't see why it has to be anything bigger than that. It doesn't have to become you're a rookie, you do it yourself, that toxic stuff. Like, he's also the quarterback. Like, if anything, I would think the quarterback does have an inherent level of respect, and he's not treated like your typical rookie.
They stunk,
Come on,
Chris.
Get over it.
But here's what's interesting. We can feel this way. I truly think that he might be onto something as far as how other players may feel, because we could disagree with the other players, but there could be some vets that he might be speaking as if he feels like the other players will feel that way. And that could be very possible.
That gives me Darius Miles vibes, where it's, hey, LeBron just going to walk in this locker room and change everything here. Like, no, he's got to fit in with us. No, like you said up top, like, I'm here because y'all were doing things wrong.
Right.
So maybe y'all should just kind of put your pride aside.
Yeah.
And it's not like he's saying, hey, guys, I'm going to have a rubber glove and I'm going to make sure there's not an ounce of dust. He's just saying, clean up after yourself. Be an adult. Be a human. Be a professional at that. Maybe it's more symbolic of you guys aren't treating yourselves like professional. You guys treat this like it's your bedroom, and it's not your bedroom. This is the place where you work, where you make and earn your $1 million. Maybe it's just more of I think it's more of a mentality thing. I think if you actually have a problem with it, that to me tells more about you than about Caleb Williams.
Yeah, and he's bringing up the nail polish. We got he's bringing up
super unnecessary dig.
Clearly,
not even a dig, just weird.
But I do wonder if he is channeling what he might actually feel like.
It's not like he was projecting. He specifically brought up Eli, and that was his
He's
quarterback.
playing tennis out here.
Yeah,
So we'll see what happens there. I don't mind it from Caleb. I don't. Obviously, we haven't heard how he said it, and tones and context matters. But all in all, you want stuff from you got to be a leader, but you got to be a leader in a certain way. Oh, you got to start cleaning
time,
it. Yeah,
you can't be too early in your rookie year.
You got to clean it yourself. You can't. Yeah, it's just a lot of hoopla.
I also don't think that cleaning it himself solves anything.
And then people would just say he's an attention seeker.
Yeah.
Right.
It's also
going to have a camera.
Passive aggressive. A little.
Right.
You know?
There's just no winning. Just leave it dirty, apparently, and let the cockroaches kick it. Coming up next, we have the top tight ends for Madden, and this elite quarterback, unless your name is Nate Littlefield, this elite quarterback is injured and will start the next couple weeks in a boot. We'll tell you who that is when we return. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
Going deep down the sideline for RU. He's got it, and he's gone. 10, 5, touchdown! San Francisco! Ayuk is on fire!
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Sacramento, Dirks Bentley's coming to town. What was I thinking? I'm getting drunk on the Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends. Farmerly, Tyler Rich, Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com. Brought to you by The Scoundrel Red Wine, Naturewood Home Furnishings, and Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers.
I would end the day with sore feet, sore legs. The drugstore inserts that I was purchasing were really not very useful at all. I walked into the Good Feet store and the guy kind of grinned at me and said, I hear that a lot. I was living with chronic pain before going to the Good Feet store. Now I don't really have that problem. I'm able to do the things that I expect to be able to do, even at my advanced age. I feel pretty good about what's going on.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sacktown Sports.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sacktown Sports.
Breaking down the top 10 tight ends in Madden. But before we get to that, there is a name that is being brought up, and this name is injured. Simone, the Los Angeles Chargers announced following yesterday's practice, Justin Herbert was diagnosed, this was an hour ago, Justin Herbert was diagnosed with an injury to the plantar fascia in his right foot. Doctors have recommended approximately 2 weeks in a boot, followed by a graduated return to play protocol, with the expectation that he will be ready for the start of the regular season.
And how does this relate to our Nate dog?
Nate didn't have Justin Herbert in his top 10 quarterbacks.
Maybe he knew.
Maybe he knew. So Justin Herbert still should be ready for the start of the season. But Chris, last season, he had the rib issues, and he's one of those big guys. We all say, oh, these big quarterbacks, that
big target.
You're right. These big quarterbacks, they'll last longer. Okay, well, Justin Herbert's always dinged up, and Anthony Richardson lasted about 3 games. Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's almost money time, right? For the Chargers and for Justin Herbert. I was watching something earlier today, and they were talking about how even if somebody has a higher ceiling, right? All the hype around CJ Stroud, you have to nurture that ceiling. Okay, CJ Stroud had one of the best rookie seasons we've ever seen in the NFL, possibly the best season we've seen in the NFL. But what do the Texans do next? The Texans are doing a lot to support him.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert hopped on the scene, and they still had Anthony Lynn at that point, and he balls out, and everybody thinks this guy's going to take over the world, and we don't even know what to do with Justin Herbert now. All these years later, they get Harbaugh, who we assume is going to fix things, but after all that and after everything he's done, we don't even know what to do with Justin Herbert. So on top of that, he's got these injuries that have kind of plagued him. Yeah. And really just somebody with, we know what he can do. And every year somebody puts him in the Niners offense, and, he would be an MVP, Bowl, and they'd win the Super Bowl. But this is not nothing for the Chargers, man.
No, for sure. Like you said, I think you put it perfectly. Like, it is money time for the Chargers. Like, Keenan Allen's no longer in the building. You don't have Austin Eckler in the building anymore.
Have you seen the clips of Quentin Johnson getting mean?
Yes,
this guy can't catch a ball.
He cannot catch a football to save his life. I mean, I'm pretty sure we saw the same route of him. Just a little out route. Right. He has it in his hands. He gets touched. He definitely gets touched, but he gets tumbles. He tumbles and he loses the football. So I don't know. It's going to be all on Justin Herbert. It kind of is in a much different path, but to the same result. It's what happened with Patrick Mahomes, right? You get your first couple of years. We can afford to have Tyreek Hill around you. We can afford to have all of these weapons around you. But at some point here, if you are this great quarterback that you're supposed to be, you need to be able to lift these boats up, okay? We need you to make Juju Smith-Schuster a competitive receiver. We need you to make Kadarius Toney something that's not a complete pariah. And that's the situation Justin Herbert's going to find himself in this year. Yeah, he definitely has an improved coach in Jim Harbaugh, but that staff around him, and I know they made an emphasis to improve that offensive line, but they better make sure that Justin Herbert, I guess we're going to find out if Justin Herbert really is good enough to perform without the elite talent around him, because he doesn't have it anymore. And that defense, Khalil Mack had a really good game. What was that, against the Raiders, right, where he had 5 or 6 sacks, but you're going to need a complete season. You need Bosa to you're going to need that defense to be great, and Justin Herbert's going to have to play his part and lift a lot of the weight on that offensive end. So it's going to be a really big year for him.
Where did you have Herbert on your list?
I know I had him on the list. Let's see here, pulling it up. I had Justin Herbert at number 7, in between Matt Stafford and Dak Prescott.
Okay, I had him at 8. So I think a lot of people. He's not the shiny new toy anymore, Chris. No. I mean, that's CJ Stroud now, and we'll give our official predictions when we get closer to the regular season. But Justin Herbert is not the shiny new toy in the AFC anymore. No. And I don't know how many top 5 lists he is in, and I don't think he should be in any, because he hasn't done anything. So. Yeah. He has done absolutely nothing. So we'll see what happens there with a lot of yards. Austin Eckler is the check down Charlie. Yeah. To Austin Eckler.
And Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen. Shout out Cal. So we'll see what happens with Justin Herbert as we get into the top 10 tight end list, Chris, for Madden. We've been going through all of them each and every day. Now, look, these tight ends, man, there's some really good tight ends in here. There's one guy that there's 2 guys, actually, I am a bit surprised to see, but I will tell you who those guys are when we get there. Okay, you ready for this?
Let's do it.
Number 10, Cole Kmet at an 83 overall.
Okay.
Number 9, Dalton Schultz at an 84 overall. Number 8, Dallas Goedert at an 85 overall. Number 7, Sam Laporta at an 86 overall. Number 6, Evan Ingram at an 88 overall. Number 5, David Njoku at a 90 overall. Number 4, TJ Hawkinson at a 91 overall. Number 3, Mark Andrews at a 94 overall. Number 2, George Kittle at a 97 overall. And number 1, Travis Kelce at a 99 overall. I'll get to my qualms, Chris, but your initial thoughts at this list.
I think Sam Laporta is way too low after the rookie season he had, first and foremost. That's really crazy. David Njoku definitely had a good season. I don't know if I necessarily think of him as a top 5 tight end. And Travis Kelce as a 99 just doesn't quite feel right to me. Like, I don't mean to get too in the weeds here, but like Madden makes like a really big deal of the 99 club. Right. And after the season he had, I understand he's Travis Kelce.
Finished hot. Great. But he did not have a very good season last year. He was injured for the first time, really in his entire career. Kind of feel like, again, nitpicking here, he should probably be a 98, 97. I don't necessarily think that. And then George Travis Kittle should probably be a 90.
95. Yeah, 97 feels high to me. And, I would give a lot more respect to Sam Laporta. And I think Dallas Goedert is just in general an underrated tight end. He just doesn't really get brought up too often, but he's just really solid to me. I mean, 8 is probably fine. I probably would have him more in the 6 or 7 range if we were just straight ranking the tight ends. But besides that, I don't really have too big of an issue with it. I think TJ Hawkinson, even though I will try and pump him up throughout this year, I do think he's probably the 4th best tight end. I don't have an issue with him below Mark Andrews, behind Kittle, and behind Kelce.
I think Evan Ingram's too high. Evan Ingram's too high. I mean,
I can throw an Evan Ingram number at you that's going to change that, but it's okay.
Okay. Yeah. That's fine. I think Sam Laporta is too low. I think David Njoku is too high. I don't really have a problem with TJ Hawkinson. I like Mark Andrews. I think he disappears when Lamar needs him the most, but I'm okay with him at number 3. Dalton Schultz, I was really high on him when he was on the Cowboys. I think I'm not going to argue about number 9. I really do like Dallas Goedert as well at number 8. But yeah, that I don't have a problem with TJ Hawkinson at number 4, but 5 through 7, I would definitely change that order. And Mark Andrews, I don't think I have a choice but to keep him at number 3 and George Kittle at number 2. But you're right. I don't like a tight end at he can be a 99, but he wasn't a 99 for a duration of the season.
No.
So I would drop Travis Kelce to about 97. I would drop George Kittle to a 95. I think I don't mind Mark Andrews at 94, but I don't mind that order 1, 2, 3. When it gets to 4 through 7, there could be some movement there. For
me. The Evan Ingram number I want to throw at you. It's not the most fun number to talk about, but targets. How about this? Evan Ingram led all tight ends in targets by about 20. You have Sam Laporta at number 5 with 120, Kelce with 121, Njoku with 123, TJ Hawkinson at 127. So they're all grouped in that 120s.
Mm-hmm.
Evan Ingram had 143 targets and 114 receptions last season. He was the only tight end to break over 100 receptions. Hawkinson had 95. Kelce had 93. Sam Laporta had 86. So I think the Evan Ingram argument is just he was their best receiver last year. And I was surprised to see those numbers at the end of the year, but I think it's more just he's not necessarily the highest ceiling tight end, but the dude just gets the ball thrown at him a ton.
Sure, he's a possession tight end.
Absolutely. And what good is that?
A Michael Thomas tight end. He's a Michael Thomas
slant boy.
Yeah, he's a slant boy. Slant boy tight end.
My God.
Chris, last week we talked about NBA players that popped for a bit, and then just disappeared.
And went off the grid.
I'm here looking at the Buffalo Bills depth chart, and I see Dalton Kincaid. I thought Dawson Knox was going to cook.
Dawson Knox was supposed to be that guy.
I thought Dawson Knox was going to cook. Now he's back up to Dalton Kincaid,
who's also supposed to be that guy.
Right.
Yeah,
we have two of those guys.
Yeah, we'll see about that. And they don't have Diggs anymore. They got Gabe Dave out there still. I don't believe in Gabe Davis as a number. Oh no, Gabe Davis I think swapped teams too.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
they don't. I don't know who their number one receiver is. I know they have they drafted Keon Coleman, I believe, in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's going to be their guy. Those two names specifically from the tight end position, Kincaid and Dawson Knox. I don't remember what round I drafted them in fantasy last year and the season before, but I remember that they were part of my. Oh yeah, no. You don't need to reach for Kelce and Andrews.
You got
Dawson Knox. You have Dalton Kincaid, and I ended up on the waiver wire pretty soon that season.
Yeah, I'm looking at because we were talking about Dalton Schultz as well, who's moved on. The Cowboys, who Dak really does like his tight ends. They're rocking with Jake Ferguson, and Luke Schoonmaker.
Okay,
yeah,
sure, go ahead, Schumacher shoes.
Ferguson, he would pop up every now and then, prop talk. By the way, Simone, I'm going to have to call the number. I got the email during one of the breaks from Prop Talk. Free play today. NFL is back. NFL is
What
back.
is it even for? Is it like snaps?
So back, baby.
I haven't looked. I have not looked yet.
Good.
I wanted to look into. I thought about you boys for the Olympics. I was like, do they have any problems?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
1-800-GAMBLER.
Yes, please.
But no other issues, Chris, with the list. No big issues.
I don't think so. No, I mean, Kittle. We talked a little bit about his standing in the overall tight end sphere and where he's kind of at in his career. And, it's again, 97 is probably a bit high for Kittle, but he did have a lot of explosive plays last year. And it is with George. I get it. Like, how much better would he be if he were the singular option, the same way Travis Kelce is, the same way Mark Andrews is? I guess there isn't really necessarily anything out there that makes you believe Kittle couldn't be that. But, I think that it's maybe a little bit overrated, but I don't feel passionately enough that I'm willing to make the argument for it. I think Kittle's fine. At worst, he's the third best tight end in the NFL. So him at second doesn't really have a problem with. David Njoku did make a really big leap last year, though. I will say that
was last year the year he got burned?
Yes, yeah, it was. It was pretty much after he got burned. He really did elevate to another level, and that's a crazy story, but he definitely is somebody who wouldn't surprise me if he ends up one day being, he's already at 5 on this list, but he could be a top 3 tight end. I definitely think he's one of the most athletic tight ends I think I've ever seen full stop. So he definitely has potential to be up there, but I don't know if he'll ever actually get up there. And, Deshaun Watson's got to play his part in that too.
How does he block? That's
right. That's right. That block rating, if everybody else is at a 70 and you got your George Kittle at a 99, maybe that takes him from 94 to a 97.
From the 209, not sure if this is our 209 resident Bills fan, for the Bills wide receivers: Keon Coleman, Curtis Samuel, Khalil Shakir. I'm looking here,
Sheesh.
Chris. Yeah, Khalil Shakir. They have for the first string, Keon Coleman, Curtis Samuel. They also have
Curtis Samuel,
Marquez Valdez-Scantling before he
MVS,
goes back to the Chiefs again, because this is a yearly thing. And they also have Mapletron Chase Claypool.
Oh my gosh, blast from the past. How about that one?
Chase Claypool and Mac Hollins, who does not wear shoes.
Yeah, did you see that whole thing
yesterday?
yesterday?
He doesn't wear shoes, and he's a
vibey.
Yeah, and small cats will take your soul. Is that what he said?
He did say that, yes. He said, don't trust little cats because they will take your soul.
Does he mean little cats as in house cats or small house cats?
I think he means small house cats is from what I picked up. Not just jungle cats and then just regular cats are small cats to him. I believe he was saying specifically smaller sized house cats specifically steal you. Not black cats or anything like that, but specifically small cats, house cats will steal your soul.
One offensive player has changed the market. What does it mean for the Niners? And no, we're not talking about Brandon Ayuk. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
At Lowe's, save big every day. Right now, get a free pneumatic nailer when you buy a pallet of Metabo HPT nails. And there's more. Save 10% on select shingles when you buy in bulk. Visit us in-store or online for low prices on the materials you need. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
If you're looking to move out of your parents' place, you could really cut expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive, which is good because your little brother has gotten really territorial. You're blood related. You'd think it would be fine to share food in the fridge. I mean, who writes their name on every individually wrapped slice of cheese, Tyler? Still, you've got to admire the commitment. So bundle your renter's and car insurance with Progressive and use the savings to help you move out and have all the cheese you want. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Some Olympic news, not spoiler alert, but some Olympic news. Tom Cruise will perform a stunt to end. What is so funny?
Just as the last way I was expecting you to start that sentence.
What in the world?
I can't wait.
We're gonna get into who got paid today for the Bucks and how it affects the Niners. But real quick, Tom Cruise will perform a stunt to end the Paris Olympics. He will rappel down and carry the Olympic flag to L.A. and skydive down onto the Hollywood sign. He's already done and recorded the skydive portion. I was wondering why he was getting so much screen time.
Yeah, this makes sense. A lot of sense.
Why Tom Cruise? Why has it got to be Tom Cruise as the American?
He's 62, by the way.
Is he really? Wow. That's insane.
He's pushing it, but he's so athletic still, and he does so many of his own stunts.
Yeah.
Could you think of a better candidate? Like, I don't
think
disrespect.
I don't think it has to happen.
I feel like
But if
they're
you're
gonna
gonna
do
do it-
away, and
I
it's
think they
Hollywood
usually
and
do
LA
something
and
like
movies. Like then he's
You're right, Simone.
there
you're
you
right
go.
on this,
Simone
Simone.
figured it out.
Simone,
Wow.
Simone,
We're not used to this level of brain and
Yeah, wow.
These brain levels are way
Simone,
too
that
high
actually
for us.
makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
The biggest Hollywood star in LA.
Wow.
It's almost like they planned it.
Wow.
Great job.
Good job, Simone.
That just went
That probably
right
really-
over my
Well,
head.
that's our segment gone.
Yeah,
Wow.
that would have went right over. I went, why are they? Why Tom?
Why-
Did you just say why Tom
Why
Cruise?
Tom
what's
Cruise?
the deal
Yeah.
with Tom Cruise?
Wow. So yeah,
No, thanks.
rappelling down from the Stade de France, carrying the Olympic flag.
Huh. Well, there you go. Yeah, Tom Cruise. Good job, Tom. I definitely feel like we could have still come up with something better, but
I think
it does make a lot of sense actually when Simone puts it so easily like that.
I think that's it, Chris. I
Yeah.
think you just have to enjoy. You have to enjoy Tom Cruise. He's
I just didn't realize-
62,
yeah,
man.
I just didn't realize Mission Impossible had a stranglehold on culture. Like
It does on me. I love Mission Impossible.
If we were to rank and we got Simone, maybe this is sorry, Chris, but maybe this is a next week thing.
Yeah.
If we were to rank, I guess cult following
Oh, tricky word here in the sentence.
action films, right?
Okay.
Because Chris, I think you're right on. You're either into it or you're not,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Fast and Furious,
Yes, totally.
Mission
Oh my
Impossible.
gosh.
It used to at first. I'll never forget. I used to kind of joke people. This is before I got into the industry. So just at my other job, and would joke, "Oh my gosh, can you believe they're coming out with another Fast and Furious?" And I would just kind of have some fun with it because it's not really my. I mean, I watched the first 3, and then I just said I'm
Right.
cool off
Can't
that.
watch the next 8.
And then when people started saying, "Oh yeah, I'm going to go see it," when I started realizing, "Oh, I'm the
Yeah,
outsider,"
you're the outlier.
I started realizing, "Wow, people really do like this."
Love
you
it.
have that. You have they're doing another Transformers.
Yeah,
All
Transformers
right,
is a big
they're
one now.
doing another Jurassic Park.
Yep.
We need to rank these, and we want people calling in, texting in. Which one is your favorite? Do you just like all?
Yeah.
Are there some that you pick?
Yeah.
Or do you like all of them?
This is definitely a Christopher Laud territory.
Yeah,
where
I'm
he
devastated
definitely
he
Yeah, because
stepped
he'll be.
out.
I mean, like I said, nobody
He's
works
all-
anymore. He'll be out next week as well. if
Oh,
I'm not
that's
mistaken.
true, right? Yeah, he is going to be.
So yeah, it's just the skeleton crew here.
right.
It's gonna be a boneyard.
It's gonna
around
be.
here.
It's gonna be a.
It's going to get squirrely next week.
Yeah. Speaking of boneyard, I'll never. All right, we'll get to Tristan Wirfs right after this. But for the longest time, have you guys ever heard of that term being used when you get wings? Me and my wife, we went to get wings somewhere in Oakland years ago, and it stuck with us forever. And we got wings, and the guy came with a bowl, and he goes, "Here, guys, here are your wings," and it was an empty bowl. He said, "Here are your wings, and here are your wings for your boneyard." And it was just a normal, sports bar. And ever since then, every time we have wings,
That's a boneyard.
where's the boneyard? Does anyone else call it the boneyard?
No.
I like it.
But I
But it
like
makes
it.
sense. Yeah, I do kind of hate putting my bones back in with like the
Right,
full
the
wing.
food you're still eating.
Yeah.
You need a boneyard.
You do need a boneyard
Yeah.
because they do it for
And I
crab.
don't think he
right?
said it like that,
When you eat
but-
crab, like
yeah.
you gotta
There's a-
put it
Oh,
away.
for
sure.
You know?
No, it's a shell yard.
He definitely didn't change his
Eat
voice,
some
but that's how we
artichokes,
heard it.
You know? Yeah.
The boneyard.
I love that. That's so
Makes
much
sense.
more
Yeah.
classy than
Yeah.
this is a trash pile.
Right. The boneyard. Speaking of boneyard, hopefully it won't be dry once the Niners are done paying people because they got to pay someone else. Chris, Tristan Wirfs just got paid, and he's at $28.1 million a year now. And you have Trent Williams on line one. He is the NFL's highest paid offensive lineman. And then you have Penei Sewell, Christian Darrisaw, Laramie Tunsil, and Andrew Thomas. And right now you said that Trent Williams is making 20?
I believe so. Yeah, his base salary is at 20. And I know the problem right now is that he doesn't have any guaranteed money on his contract. So I think that's really the big sticking point. I don't know what he can make with incentives and all that stuff, but yeah, his base salary is currently at 20 million. I can read a little bit more into, I'm sure they have somewhere the actual money in which he takes home. But yeah, for the most part here, Williams is, here we go. This is from ESPN.com article. Williams is set to make $20 million in base salary, $22 million in base salary in 25 and 32 in base salary in 26. He would undoubtedly like to have a big chunk of that money guaranteed. So again, that's really the problem, is that the money is 0% guaranteed at this point. He just wants to make sure. I don't know if he's actually okay with those numbers, but he definitely wants to make sure if he's going to get something, he wants it for sure. So I think that's the big thing, is that he's probably going to, 32 million in 2026 probably was just never going to happen. I mean, there's no way that you were going to be thinking to pay a 40-year-old left tackle that high of that would currently be the highest figure for any left tackle. So I think he probably, much like Brandon Ayuk, he views this more as, okay, now I know where my floor is. And I would think, Trent's probably very deserving of 26 to 28. And that's funny because that's literally the Ayuk range. So really, we're about to see if the Niners do have the flexibility to do both of these deals and then still feel comfortable enough to have money for Brock.
There you go. So another day, another player on the Niners who needs to be paid. Do you think that John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan just wake up to just another player each day, just saying, pay me, just money emojis with the one with the wings on it, just money with the wings on it, just every day, and just a bag of money every single day. They have to pay somebody else. Coming up next, we have something that really, Chris, is completely new to basketball and what women's basketball is trying to accomplish. And Paige Beckers is really the face of this, combining with an NIL deal. Chris has the details for that, and we will break it all down when we return. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sacktown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for three, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Seems as though casual players are always trying to balance the desire to hit the golf ball farther with shooting lower scores. Whether you hit a 270-yard drive or miss a 12-inch putt, they both count a stroke on your scorecard. Some of us will never hit the ball 270 yards, and trying normally leaves us well short and well right of the target. Seems as though improving our putting might be an easier way to shoot better scores. Putting is about confidence. It's about feeling the greens, seeing the line, visualizing the ball going in the hole, and making a confident stroke. Harvey Penick says, never, repeat, never allow yourself to think about what's riding on the putt, whether it's a major championship or just a 50-cent wager. Hit the putt as you've hit 10,000 putts in the past. Concentrate on imitating your final practice stroke, not on what will happen if you either miss it or make it. A positive mind will cure a lot of ills. Think about it. Really, think about it. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any marketing campaign. Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products or services to them. Go to aimyourdigital.com today. aimyourdigital.com.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Going to get into this Paige Beckers, really a cool situation with the new basketball league, unrivaled. But Chris, reports are coming out. There's so many reports that we're trying to keep a wrangle on. There's Brandon Ayuk, there's Trent Williams, but also in the basketball world on the Dubs Talk podcast.
Dub Nation.
All right.
What's up, Dub Nation?
Friend of the show, Monty Poole, says it's been trending towards the Warriors not getting Lauri Markkanen. Again,
love it.
The Jazz can offer Lauri an extension August 6th. If Danny Ainge doesn't like what he's been offered, really, if the Warriors are still standing true to Brandon Podziemski being their guy and no other offer is close, the Jazz are going to decide to buy instead of sell, and they're not going to be good this year, but they might try to be good enough to enter that Cooper Flagg sweepstakes. And now you got Lauri Markkanen and Cooper Flagg to worry about, along with the Spurs and some of these teams. So we'll see what happens there, Chris. But as far as Lauri Markkanen is concerned, now you're going to love this. I'm seeing Warrior content aggregators say, no more Lauri. I know a front court man who's a 3-level scorer, shoots over 40%, and is probably available. Just guess who the picture is. It's my guy.
Bobby Portis.
It's Bobby Portis, and I'll lose it. I don't know how they get.
That's also just like not the same level.
No, it's not the same level. And what is Bobby? 12 million?
Yeah.
What in the world? Again, and I don't even think the Bucks would. The Bucks, the Jazz would probably have just blown it up.
Yeah.
The Bucks are in win now.
Yes.
What in the world are you going to give? I know
that's got to be Kuminga.
I know Kevon Looney is from
That's
Milwaukee, so Kevon Looney and Kuminga. And now you have some people call Kuminga mini Giannis, so you have the worst spacing that we've ever. You want to worry about the Kings spacing.
Yeah.
That spacing would be terrible.
Be damned. Yeah.
So I don't know how in the world they would get Bobby Portis.
No idea. Yeah, I don't know how they would come to that dollar figure.
If you think Podziemski is ready, you could do Podziemski, GP2.
There you go.
And like I said, why do the Bucks want picks right now?
I don't know. Yeah.
You want Guy Santos? Can I interest you in Guy Santos?
Guy Santos. Hey, man, he's playing for the Olympics right now. I saw him the other day playing for Brazil.
Guy Santos, really?
And, Lester Quiones, right? Those are their
if anybody besides the Kings gets Bobby Portis, I'm going to lose it. He's got to stay in Milwaukee.
That's going to be your, really, Monty?
Yeah.
Really?
Really? He was there. He was right there for you.
Couldn't do that.
All right, Chris, let's get into this Paige Becker's NIL situation.
Yeah, this was really interesting news this morning. Shams broke it about as early as you could. I woke up to the news that Paige Becker's had signed a new NIL deal to join a new women's basketball league, which I think a lot of people have a lot of questions on, and hopefully we can answer that, titled Unrivaled, which is a new 3-on-3. It is not 3x3 like the Olympics. It is truly more 3-on-3 basketball than you're taking the ball under the basket and all the rules of the Olympic 3x3. It is more so a 3-on-3 basketball league in which it's going to have, I think it's currently slated for 8 or 10 teams of 5. Obviously 3 on the court at the same time. It's going to be consisting of a lot of WNBA talent, and it starts this coming January 2025. It will kind of usher in a new era of, in a way, year-round women's basketball. Of course, right now the WNBA season goes from, I think, April through September, and then you have a lull in between then. This league starts in January. It goes for 2 months. It leads you pretty much up until March Madness. I think it leads you to March Madness, and then the WNBA season then kicks back off in April or May, and it rinse and repeat. So Paige Becker's, this is again from Shams Charania this morning, is signing an NIL deal with the newest women's basketball league, Unrivaled, that makes her the first NCAA athlete to receive ownership equity in any league. Becker's is expected to play in Unrivaled along with the WNBA after her college career is over. So this is not a one or the other situation. Remember, you and I had a conversation when Caitlin Clark had just exited college when she got the offer from the Big Three to do that league. That wouldn't have worked as well because that league coincides with the actual WNBA season. This is a league in which it is not sponsored by the WNBA, but the WNBA commissioner has already came out and had very positive words. So at least publicly, they are supporting the league and its existence. And the big reason for that is because a lot of it is backed by 2 WNBA stars. Both Breonna Stewart and Nafisha Collier are the co-founders of the league. They are also joined right now. The other athletes that have signed up to be an Unrivaled are WNBA stars Chelsea Gray, who we all know here in Sacramento, Arike Agumbawale, who is one of the most exciting, if not the most exciting player in the WNBA, Jewel Lloyd, one of the best scorers, Kelsey Plum, Ryan Howard, Kalia Copper, Jackie Young, and Angel Reese have all committed to play in the league's debut season, again, coming up in January 2025. And the reason why this league is so big, not only is it, again, making year-round women's basketball, it's the pay, which has become a really big hot button topic when it comes to the WNBA and just women's sports in general. This is the first league in which they will pay every single one of their players 6-figure salaries. Unrivaled would offer the, quote, highest average salary in women's professional sports league history. With about 10 to 15% ownership pool for players, Unrivaled has been aggressive with pursuit of WNBA stars by offering the highest average salary in women's sports history. League cap for the 30 players will be at least $7.5 million, which comes out to an average of about $250,000 per player, which is pretty much as the highest paid women's players in the WNBA will make right now. So this is still obviously the debut season. They're still kind of getting their legs under them. But I think if this league can somehow convince Caitlin Clark that this is mutually beneficial, that's how this league just takes off tenfold. And maybe you really start to see a lot more hype around this Unrivaled league. But it seems really cool to me.
No, I think that's great. And, get your money up, not your funny up. And it's not just Caitlin Clark. We know it is Caitlin Clark, but a lot of these women have put in so much time and effort into their craft, and to be, I wouldn't even say rewarded, but to work for something that you want to be available for yourself. I think it's outstanding, and hopefully it continues to grow. And I mean, look, I'll watch that before I watch this. The Olympic 3-on-3. I mean, this is brutal. This is not good ball. We talk about bad ball with the Hall of Fame game, and be careful with prop talk, but this is bad ball, Chris.
Yeah,
and there's really gonna be good ball watching these ballers do their thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be really fun. I mean, again, with teams of 5, I think it's gonna be a nice, interesting mix. You kind of maybe it might be a little bit of an area of entry for fans who are a little bit skeptical or a little afraid to just go full in on the WNBA. Like, it's going to be a new way of watching basketball. And I think, it's going to be another way of building their stars. When you have only 3 players, really allows you to kind of spread it out a little bit more, right? You don't have to play as much team basketball when it's 3-on-3 versus 5-on-5, a little bit more individual skill. And, I mean, it's the reality of the situation. Like, maybe, and I know it's not the intention of the league, but if they do get a men's division in this as well, I think it would be really cool. Not that it could be side by side because the NBA season goes on along with it, but we could maybe see just in general the rise of 3-on-3 basketball. I think there's a lot of interest in people seeing a little bit more of open floor. And, I think people do kind of yearn back for the days of the And One mixtape era, right? Like, people love to see people love, hey, Sizzle, come on.
That's right.
People love to see people get crossed up and fall on the floor and hit a shot in front of their face. And it feels like, the NBA has become a little bit too robotic with the drive and kick and shooting threes and passing up layups for threes. I do think that there's a world in which 3-on-3 basketball does kind of take off a bit, and it wouldn't surprise me if this league definitely helps in doing that. And yeah, I mean, again, if there's a men's division, I definitely think, it's just the reality of the situation. I think that definitely could help this league rise quite a bit. And even if it doesn't, I think that this league is going to have a certain placeholder in the basketball community. So I'm excited for it to happen. But like we talked about earlier, I'm not going to be naive to the situation. I'm not sure it's going to work, but I think it's a really fun idea and a great way for women's basketball, not the WNBA, but women's basketball, to try and capitalize on all the momentum they have going right now.
Great stuff, Chris. It is time to get into some fair or foul.
Let's do it.
So let's get this going. Okay. First one, this actually isn't fair or foul. This is just fair, of course. Frank Gore being inducted into the Niners Hall of Fame.
Ooh.
Frank Gore, just an Iron Man for those Niner teams. He's a guy. Now, here's a guy. If the Niners win, you should keep him around so in case the Niners do win a Super Bowl, he can get a ring. I think he deserves something like that.
Yeah.
I'm still mad they didn't take Frank Gore Jr. because that would have been outstanding, even though Tariq Owens has been balling out for the Niners. But that's not even a fair foul, but shout out to Frank Gore for being inducted into the Niners Hall of Fame. Next, Chris, the new Disney, Fox, and Warner Brothers Discovery Sports streaming service will cost $42.99 a month. It is coming out, and like we discussed before the show, you'll get your Big Ten and shows like that. We're still trying to figure out what are you taking away from me that I now have to pay for? Fair foul, another streaming service.
$42 seems insane. They better come out with what exactly is going to be on it real soon, because I think you're going to lose a lot of people just off of straight sticker shock. Like like ESPN Plus is what? It's anywhere from $5 to $12, and I think people already kind of hesitate at doing that. And we know there's a certain level of brand expectation for what ESPN's going to bring. I don't know if anyone's just going to willingly throw $45 a month at anything until they see exactly what they're paying for. Because to my knowledge, you're not getting Sunday Ticket, you're not getting any form of League Pass or MLB at Bat, anything like that. So they're going to have to justify that $43 a month, Alan. I can't even do that math. We'll just round up and call it 100 every other month. What, $600 a year?
It's
pretty
a lot.
much. Come
It's a
on,
lot.
what are we talking about? That's a cable package.
Yeah.
I mean, you could get YouTube TV, I'm sure, for a similar price figure. So I don't know how they're going to figure out how to make that worth everyone's time. That's crazy.
Two more. Fair foul. ESPN is launching an NFL Red Zone spinoff for NBA games as part of their new media rights deal beginning in 2025-2026. All the games every night in the most important moments. NBA TV had something similar called Crunch Time.
Yeah.
Fair foul. Are you in on this?
Yeah, I kind of need to see this in practice first. It sounds good. I mean, hey, let's make Red Zone for Sport X. Let's make Red Zone for Sports Y. It makes so much sense. It works so well with football. But football is also a little bit different. I don't know if you'll really be able to catch the vibe of a basketball game if you're just hopping in and out. It feels like you're going to miss a lot of the biggest play. In football,
If your
there's
team's not playing,
stoppage.
maybe. I mean, I wouldn't
It's just
mind
so
it
strange,
with Kings
yeah.
games starting at 7. Right, so you
Yeah,
can
you
see
can
all
lead
the
into
early,
it, maybe.
the early slate,
Yeah.
everything else. If your team is playing at 4 with everyone else or at 5,
Right.
I think it might be a little bit tough. And if you're just kind of a casual viewer, maybe you like that too. Last but not least, Chris, I know you'll love this. Colorado's football team, they have their social media handles on the back of their jerseys right now. I don't know if they're going to keep this for the season, but I'm watching the video right now. It says at Shador Sanders as he throws a pass to the wide receiver. Fair foul on having your social media handles on the back of your jersey.
I just don't get it. Why? Who are they promoting it? Is it just going to be in your pictures or something like that? I don't see what the benefit is. Who are you putting on to your social? Again, how many times are practice pictures surfacing like that to where it's relevant? I don't know.
Well,
it seems like
got posted by Bussin' with the Boys, so maybe
there you
that's
go. To me, I don't know. I mean, to me, it just feels like something that you could tell recruits, hey, isn't it cool? Yeah, we lean into you promoting yourself so much so that we put it on the back of your practice jersey because we always want you to be mindful that you're a brand and we're just trying to grow you here at Colorado. I guess it's a decent pitch. I could see how maybe high school kids might think that's cool because it's
money.
personalized.
It's money.
It's money. It's all it is. To me, this is just about marketing and whatever. I mean, if it gets you more recruits, I guess. But if my child were a recruit, I would say, that's not going to do anything for you. It's kind of just a bit.
Yeah, and somebody on the Sac Chat earlier, they had a good nickname for what we were talking about. I think it was Ward, what we were talking about earlier. I think he called it the Sacktown Spin Around. So next week, or starting tomorrow, I do want to have a conversation on Stiles in the morning or whatever we're calling it, filling in for Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross, because I'm really torn, Raider fans.
Sunshine with Stiles.
Yeah, sunshine with Stiles. I'm really torn, Raider fans. Do you want Shedeur Sanders? It seems like a mess. And with Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell not doing too hot, we're going to have this conversation. I just don't know if you want to deal with that. So that will be good stuff. But coming up next, in a couple minutes, we'll be joined by Whitey Gleason and the Drive guys as we round things up for Chris and I's last show for the next couple days. And Whitey brings the awkward silence. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles the man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sacktown Sports.
Sacramento, Dirks Bentley's coming to town. What was I thinking? I'm getting drunk on the plane. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends. Farmerly. I love you just Tyler Rich. Dasha. Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com. Brought to you by The Scoundrel Red Wine, Naturewood Home Furnishings, and Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers.
If you've been on the American River, it's uphill, it's downhill. There's trails everywhere that you can walk, and it just makes you happy. And I couldn't walk, and it was terrible. I was turning into a real crab. I went to the Good Feet store, and I tried on the arch supports. I could not believe that I was not in pain. I can walk, I can run, I can jump, I can do anything. My name's Terry, and that's my Good Feet story.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Keep your family cool and comfortable this summer with Bell Brothers' best summer ever financing events. When you replace your AC system, we're offering 0 payments, 0 interest for 6 months on approved credit, then low fixed rate thereafter. That's right, 0 payments, 0 interest for 6 months on any new AC system. It's an incredible offer on an incredible new AC system, but only for a limited time. This offer is also available on any plumbing, water heater, or insulation projects over $1,000. So call Bell Brothers now. Your family will thank you because they'll be cool and comfortable. But you have to hurry. Our offer for 0 payment, 0 interest for 6 months, then low fixed rate thereafter ends soon. Estimates and second opinions are free. So call now to keep your family cool and comfortable during Bell Brothers' best summer ever event. Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com. That's theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Celebrate Sacramento Rivercats baseball during our 25th anniversary season and join the fun at Sutter Health Park. For a full promotion schedule and to buy tickets, visit rivercats.com. We'll see you there.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Here with Whitey Gleason. Wow, I'm really gonna miss this, Whitey.
Really?
Over a week.
I just want to thank you. Oh, both of you, mostly you, for ruining the Olympics for me. Thank you.
Sorry. Sorry about
What will you ever do?
Yeah, I apologize, but we know you weren't watching, so it's not. It's definitely not about you. And Whitey,
I had it on. My Sheena, my wife, is just. I mean, she's just glued today, and all the.
And how much did that upset you?
It doesn't upset me at all. I just, it doesn't upset me at all.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I still don't under. I'm really upset at this 3-on-3 thing. I mean, these are the
It's
Olympics.
so bad.
and this is the best you had to offer for you. You are the United States of America.
Brother, I'm with you. It's
How does this happen?
It's literally a little bit of an embarrassment, huh?
That
Usually
should
that's
be
an
an
overstatement.
outrage.
When we say the Olympic team, there's an embarrassment. No, it's embarrassing.
I gotta look up this. I gotta look up this roster. Whitey,
I think there's 4 of them.
Obviously, we've been telling people. We've been trying to. Somebody said the Sacktown switch around, or we call it the cross up, with me moving to the morning starting tomorrow for the next tomorrow and then all of next week.
Mm-hmm.
In your illustrious career, did you ever have to do anything like that? Do you have any pointers for me, or will you miss me? Anything? Just vamp.
I'll be in Hawaii.
Okay.
Do you think I'll miss you?
With Jason Ross, by the way.
Yeah. He called me today. We got our, we are coordinating our Hawaiian shirts and everything.
Oh,
so
that would be phenomenal.
We'll be on different islands, but that's okay.
Oh,
That's okay. That's a hop, skip, and a jump.
That's definitely get that done.
That's not too far.
I don't. To answer your question, I don't believe I've ever actually done that.
Okay.
Yeah. I know it's.
I just don't want to
all
come
the
in.
rage.
I don't want to come in too hot and, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? It's 6 a.m.
You need to come in hotter. Like just there when we came in from Simone's playing the music, and you're like, you got something going on your computer. You're letting the music play. Get your headphones on.
Yeah.
Hey, Whitey Gleason's here. You got to come in hotter.
Yeah. Okay.
Why do
You
you
do
mean,
that in the mornings, people are going to be unconscious.
is there really a difference in the because you've done them all, right? You've done every daytime, every spot.
Yeah,
right?
I think so.
Is there really a difference
I've never
between
done nights, actually.
like
That
the,
which used
the
to be a
9
thing
to
and now
12 or
hardly
whatever?
is.
Yeah, no, we should have a night show here, by the way.
That one got Simone.
Is there really a difference, like of the in terms of vibe? You never intentionally was like, hey, yeah, people are. The Rise guys, obviously, you never felt like you had to bring a certain energy for the morning.
Sure. Supposedly it's, in the morning you're supposed to bring more energy. The way I look at it, and maybe I'm wrong, is, well, whatever's better. If it's better in the morning, it's probably better in the afternoon too, It's like,
I always thought that was
so.
strange.
Yeah. We'll talk.
People want energy. People want that energy, Alan, in the morning.
Well, I'm going to bring it. You always come in when we got 6 minutes left.
Yeah.
You know who I am.
They don't need
throughout
Alan,
the show.
Sandman style.
What is that? What is that?
Sunshine style.
The Sandman.
Sandman puts you to
And the
sleep, right? He's the one that
boneyard.
comes when you go to sleep.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Did you hear our Julius Randle segment?
No.
Yes, you did.
Sorry, I didn't. Okay, I did.
Yes. Just
and he blames me for awkward silence.
So would you, whose side are you on? I know the answer. You guys are going to have the best crosstalk, by the way, these next couple of days. I already know.
I
It's
don't
already
know
ticking me
who
off.
said
He's
what,
not
but
going
you're not
to
going to
be
be
here.
Is Chris calling me?
It's
I know.
Magic
yeah.
Johnson.
Hey, Whitey,
Yeah.
how's it going?
I don't know who said what, but I am not a big Julius Randle guy.
Yeah. Neither of us, it wasn't the first pick. Chris was a no. I was a no, but maybe so.
Yeah, I'm out.
You're
all
you're
the
out.
way.
Okay. Good reports coming from Monty Poole and it's not just Monty Poole. We had on Brett Siegel yesterday, and there's momentum growing that Lauri Markkanen ain't going nowhere, and he can get the most money on the Jazz.
Yeah.
And I think that, Danny Ainge, he wanted a King's ransom. The offers were pretty good, but if Podziemski, who Bleacher Report named as the second best trade asset right now, and it was a bit of a.
Why is your partner shaking his head now?
We have a lot of fun with that. It was a very, I guess, I don't want to say confusing, but the asset list had picks and also players, but it was basically assets. It wasn't a big asset because first Chris said, when I said, hey, guess the first player off OKC, Chris said Chet Holmgren. So it's about, I guess, the best mini pieces to get the big piece is how it was written. So in that regard, I said, Chris, that's why they don't have a Keegan or a Kuminga, because they look at Podziemski as the best asset or one of the best assets to get the big boy.
Do you think the Warriors value Podziemski more than they value your guy now, Kuminga? Because it seems like for years, it seemed like the Kuminga was like just the golden child.
Yeah.
And now it seems like from what Lacob's saying, like maybe they're starting to think more highly of Podziemski.
Yeah, from what I've read and the reason Danny Ainge, we talked about it a
I
little
know
bit.
you prefer Podziemski.
No, I do not.
We know why.
No. From what I read, it has just as much to do with the flexibility because they need to pay Kuminga. So if you think that Kuminga's, and this is still a crazy statement, if you think Kuminga's ceiling and Podziemski's ceiling are even similar, then you want Podziemski because you don't have to pay Kuminga yet, which is in part why Danny Ainge wanted Podziemski and why the Warriors are more willing to move off Kuminga. But to answer your question, I think it's literally the conversation Chris and I had yesterday. If you haven't listened, go check it out on YouTube or the Sacktown Sports app. It's really the conversation of, oh, you're affecting Keegan's runway, bringing in DeRozan, but you're not necessarily affecting you're only affecting his runway if you just want him to do everything, right? This puts Keegan in a box, not in a bad way, but it puts him in a box too. You are going to shoot the basketball. You are going to defend at a high level. And yes, we want you to do other things, but you don't want to be a jack of all trades and master of none. There is nothing going on with that with Kuminga, and he's just kind of floating. And sometimes I'm a scorer, sometimes I'm a defender, and I think that it has hurt him throughout his career, even though he's only 22. So to answer your question, I don't think the Warriors know what Kuminga is supposed to be on this team. They just know he's really athletic, and they don't want to come out and say, yeah, we kind of missed on another draft pick, so we have to make this guy untouchable.
My understanding is Kuminga, I think he's told this story. He learned to play basketball by watching Kobe. Okay. It's like, one of the all-time greats. But if you play like Kobe, the Warriors don't play like that. No. So to me, there's always been, it's like it's like they got to try to get him to play more Warrior basketball. And it's just the way he learned the game and plays the game. So I think there's always maybe going to be a little bit of an issue there. But as far as Keegan, I know we don't really have time to get into it, but I wonder what you guys think of this. I think the guy that could be affected the most on the Kings by DeRozan's presence is Malik Monk. Just I wonder. In terms of
a lot of redundancy.
Yeah. I'm sure they get along great and they're going to figure it out. But Malik's role, I think, potentially changes more than anybody else's.
Yeah, because especially last year they ran so much pick and roll with him and Sabonis, and that's kind of exactly what DeMar's probably going to do, right? Yeah, in terms of bumping heads, like those two probably do a lot of the most similar things. And, a big part of Malik kind of getting to that next level this previous year was him bumping up to 5 assists per game. There's only so many guys who can have the ball in their hands, and I think it's a really good shout. If Malik's going to be more of a spot-up shooter, he wasn't really great from 3 last season. He was 36, 37%. It does kind of change the guy that we've asked him to be, and maybe he can't get to the rim as much. And yeah, I think it definitely takes a lot of his usage percentage out. I think that's a really good shout.
Wasn't that your Malik bold prediction a year ago? You thought he was going to start X number of games?
Yes. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Didn't hit much like a lot of those.
I thought we did well, and I looked at him because Verlad saved and was like,
yeah. Still waiting for Sasha and HB to be best.
Yeah,
it's happening. It's happening. The ambassador is happening at some point.
Whitey, last but not least, the Bay Bridge series, not done yet. They have 2 more games in August, but Logan Webb balled out last night. Your take on any memories or your take on and we can do this when it's actually over, but any memories on the Bay Bridge series and now that it's coming to a close? Chris and I discussed Fair or Foul, coming up with a new name while they're in Sacramento because they'll still play the Giants, but any thoughts on the Bay Bridge series?
You mean all time or just this week?
All time.
Oh, well, the earthquake was.
Well, sure.
Was
I'm pretty sure I was in stomach while that happened.
Or in the
That's
womb,
what my mom told
maybe?
me. Yeah.
Did your mother eat you or was she giving birth to you?
I was in stomach.
Just that incredible. It was historic. It was American history, not just baseball history.
Yeah.
That World Series and the split hats, which I still.
Do you see that picture floating around social media? And,
so
and someone said, I found the culprit, and it was about
60 to 100.
It was a lot of hats, man.
Yeah.
All Giants A's. All Giants A's. Bad stuff.
Terrible, cursed.
I wanted to ask you a question about the Sacramento Heat.
Better do it in
Whitey,
6 seconds.
just real quickly. Do you think people are overrating the whole Heat situation with Sacramento? You think it's not that big of a deal?
No, well, whatever gets you out faster.
It is a big deal.
Be a big factor, yes.
Thank you, Whitey.
Yes.
Finally agreed with me. That's how you know he's
There
almost
you
ready
go.
for vacation. Thank you for listening to Stiles and Watkins. Thank you
It's
for
been
listening to our show. Simone, great job. And thank you. I wanted to say it's been a good one. We'll be gone for a day and next week as well. And we're coming back at you next week after that. And Chris has you coming up 10 a.m., 2 p.m. But first, the Drive Guys, Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper. That was flawless. Until tomorrow, secure the bag, light the beam.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding.